Welcome to the stream.
What's up?
And the call for papers is actually open now. So
Is
the
it
whole
seriously?
video is now correct.
Not for that year, for this year.
For this, it just opened this week. So
I should put out a paper.
yeah. Deadline is April something or other. I should have been prepared and had that ready, but no. But call for papers did officially open. So the whole video is now, even though it's an old video.
I'm looking at this giant pile of parts on my desk that was supposed to be a YouTube video, and I'm like, you know what? It might as well just become a FlutterCon talk at this point, you know? Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, I have exciting news for everyone that I cannot wait to share. We have purchased a robot vacuum cleaner, and I have named it Dr. Hoover. We like it very much. We're going to get a second one for the upstairs, and we're going to name that one the Sweeping Angel.
So, there you go. Well, I hope you like yours better than I liked mine. I didn't like mine.
Really?
But I live in a small apartment in New York City. That's a wildly different type of vacuuming environment. Yeah, it's just either you're tripping over it or it would get stuck on things, and I have a little like ledge that goes up to various locations in the apartment. It's just I
saw one recently which has apparently you can climb stairs now.
Fancy.
They got some things like arms that come out the side and they can like lift themselves up the steps.
I can only imagine how much that one costs. The one that I bought is like $650 regular, $400 on sale. And so it's fantastic. Like it mops. And I had this moment where I'm like, oh God, we've got like throw rugs in the middle of our vinyl flooring. What's going to happen if it is it going to mop the rug? Nope. It detected the rug. It lifted up the mops and it went on through. It's fantastic. I'm super happy. Yeah. First question: does Dr. Hoover have an API you can hack into? Not an officially public one, but I feel like vacuum cleaner hacking might be a fun FlutterCon talk, though. So if it's possible, maybe.
You saw? I think I mentioned to you the other day the CCC conference, the Chaos Computer Club conference that happens in Germany. They did one that they're hacking to dishwashers and dryers and things like that.
That's amazing.
An interesting one.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll do some brief introductions, shall we? Since we won't bother with slides, I don't think, because half the people aren't here today. So, my name's Simon Lightfoot, Flutter Community Leader, CTO at Dev Angels London, and you can find me at Dev Angels London on Twitter and other things. Kaylee.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm CEO of Checks on Me, and also a now co-manager of the Flutteristas, which is so exciting. I was just a regular old member before, and they asked me to step up and help out, and I'm so excited to be part of that. So if you are a woman or non-binary and you are excited about Flutter, hit us up. We do lots of really cool things. This week we actually have the amazing Con from Google, as you guys have all seen her. She did the big plant identifying app thing. She's gonna come and speak to us this week.
Other way.
She's gonna come talk to us this week. So we do a lot of cool things there with Flutteristas. So hit us up. Go ahead, Matthew.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract. I apologize. Hi, my name is Matthew Jones. I am a senior innovation engineer for a large bank. I've been working with Flutter since shortly after the 1.0 release. But my main thing that I'm super excited about is my YouTube channel, which is still being worked on despite the fact that I haven't posted in a couple months. But I have a pile of parts on my desk, and I made some good progress over the long weekend. And this week's hint as to what the new video is, you'll only get a tiny little view. There we go. That's the hint. That's what you get. So If you put that together with last week's hint, you can probably guess what this is, but we'll leave it there. So yeah, that's me.
This week's hint? Oh, the tarot cards. That's right. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say we've for those that don't know, you need to enter your questions in the chat with the key in front, and we'll highlight them and bring them on the show and we'll answer your questions. We're doing a short show today, so we're going to try and get into an hour. So get your questions in now if you want some questions answered. And if you have any code you'd like to share, then you can follow these very steps right next to us here. And then this, just follow the steps. Just.new, put it all out, .dart, and grab that hash from your own, put that in your message. And this is because any messages with any links in, the entire message doesn't come through to us. So if you put a link into any message, we won't see your message at all. This is just to stop spammers and spamming and all that kind of stuff. So, this is our workaround. So, feel free to do that. Back to our points. I was some things came up on my Twitter stream. I wanted to share actually.
Ooh. I keep forgetting that Twitter still exists.
It's a thing. I to be honest, I haven't had much time to even look at this recently, but this came up, and I thought it was super cool. So, see if I can get this animation.
Oh,
it's a pretty sweet animation. Let's be honest.
I like it.
That actually leads me to something that I thought would be fun, would be like having some sort of like a Humpday code jam. Like we throw out a challenge and then, people submit their solutions.
So, my lad here did this as well. That's nice. Like, you can imagine just putting your finger in.
That's cool.
I mean, it's very similar to what we did. So this kind of thing is done with the same way that we did the pull down from last week, which is up on the gists, by the way. And that is, as you can tap and then just tend to go animate forward, animate reverse, or as you drag, what you're effectively doing is moving the animation between the 0 and 1 positions, basically, right? So,
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. No, it's funny for all the stupid stuff I do, like actual animations, not like Flame Game Engine stuff, but like actual animations in Flutter are probably my weak point, just because I don't do it, just because I am a very utilitarian person. And so I'm like, whatever. Yeah. But Lane, what's up?
I think a lot of people forgot it was Wednesday. Let's be honest. Like I think it's been a busy time for quite a few people.
Well, what's happened? Simon, Monday was President's Day here in the States. And so Monday was a holiday. And
President's Day. Do you really want to celebrate that? Day. I don't know.
Well, it's George Washington's birthday, so it's not that president. So George Washington and Abraham Lincoln both have February birthdays, so they kind of squished them together into President's Day instead of. It's a free day off, basically. And
essentially, yes.
Furniture stores do President's Day sales,
Oh, you said furniture stores. I thought you said liquor stores, and I was like, I have been going to the liquor store on the wrong day. I need to go to liquor stores. I didn't know that President's Day sales were things for liquor stores. I knew it was for furniture, but no. But yeah. But so I think a lot of folks in the States have had Monday off, and so it's like Tuesday in their brains. I took yesterday off as well, so it's my Monday, and I'm completely messed up. Like I walked into work today, and it's like, but you know how that goes.
I do love it. Like this, like it doesn't really work that way here. Like. You talk about this is just funny, right? Like, so this said the comment says here, the UK should have a Minister's Day, and it's like the Prime Minister is like the first minister. It just leads the political party that is on the. It's not the same as like a presidentship, right? Like it's not. You infer it to be the same because it's the leader of the nation, right? But it's not actually in that same way. It's quite funny because you go to this is the same like most places that have a prime minister, a minister that is the main head of the democracy, as it were. But it's not the same as it is very much in America. The president is very much essentially a king in the sense of the way the powers that he has over things. Like, I'm just saying, like, there are things like vetoing things and being able to like push things forward with his own agenda is separate. That's completely diverse of democracy, right? So I'm just saying that it works differently here, right? Like we have the king and the queen, as it were, but
wouldn't you say there's some prime ministers that have had an outsized effect on the country? And it's like, I don't know, Winston Churchill. Like there have to be at least some people who.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the democratic point, right? So there's an influence they have over their party and the opposing party and what the nation is doing, but they all come into a consensus and it has to be voted for, right? Like it's not like they can't just go, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Right. There is a certain amount of respect and everything that the position has. The same as like, in effect, the king could. So this. So we didn't want to go into the topic, but I'm going to talk about it now. So this came up the other day in the conversation with someone else. But it's like every law that passed in the UK goes through the two houses, just like it does in America, right? And then it goes to the king or queen at the time, and they actually have to sign it, right? It's called royal assent, right? And that's when it becomes law. They could, in effect, say no, right? They could not sign it and say it's not happening. We're not having this law, right? Never happened, right? It tried to happen once. I think a prime minister tried to affect the king's decision on what to do. And I think at one point, I can't remember where it was back in the day, but it never actually happened. So it's that same kind of thing of it could, but it hasn't. So there would be uproar from a national sense if that was to happen. It's kind of like that kind of makes sense.
So Simon, yeah, no, Simon, I feel like I am asking this on behalf of a lot of folks on the other side of the pond. What is it like living in a democracy?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, I think the problem we've got in not just here but most countries is that I feel like politics has changed. It's not what it once was, right? And I'm not going to get into politics on this channel, right? Like we're we're kind of veered completely off the point. But I'd say that like you don't get kids growing up saying, "I wish I was a politician," right? I wish I could help my nation that way. Like it's not really. There's very, very few people that actually want to grow up and do that role, you know. And with the act of social media and everything else, I think it's quite difficult to put people in that position now. You know, like the whole idea of like what was the I'm trying to remember. There's a comedic script, comedy sketch over here, and was talking to the prime minister, basically like in 2 words. It was like a sketch. In 2 words, can you describe what's going to be happening with taxes in the next term or whatever it is, right? And he starts waffling on. He's like, no, in 2 words, couldn't do it, right? Because it's that kind of thing of like we're aiming to lower taxes, blah blah blah, whatever it is. And he's like, he ends up being like, yes, we're going to lower. In 1 word, how is going to? I know, is it going to be better education? Yes, whatever. Yes, no, yes, no. It ended up being like this whole sketch. But the point I was trying to get to was that the positions themselves aren't what they used to be, right? Like I think the whole idea of politics and democracy has changed from what it used to be, personally. Not just here, but I think globally.
Well, if you like voting, you can go to the ServerPod hackathon.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Well done. Smoothest transition.
Back on topic.
Yeah, for real. ServerPod voting.
I have decided that my plate is not quite full enough yet, so I will be participating in the Flame Game Jam. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I have decided that Mr. Bean Day. Yes, 100%. I am down for Mr. Bean Day. That sounds good.
So the ServerPod hackathon is over.
Oh, is it? Okay.
The submission deadline has happened. I have, as an official judge, I have reviewed all of the entries along, I think judging and deadlines coming up soon, but there's a popular vote. So if you go to it's like devpost.serverpod, or I don't know, whatever the website link is. I posted it in my LinkedIn. You can vote for your favorite project. So if you want to see what people have done, that's a good place to look. There's some outstanding projects, a few of them. Some not so much, but it was fun. It's a hard thing. It tells you how hard doing a hackathon judging is. This is the first time I've done that.
Really?
Yeah.
We did the global hackathon. When was that? 2020, and we had, it was 70 locations. I think it ended up being like 700 submissions to go through, or thousands and thousands of submissions. I can't remember. It was a lot, and we ended up. No, that's 2019. I think it was 2019. I can't remember. We ended up the next year. We went, no, we're not doing that again. So we had all the participants vote on each other, and then like in multiple rounds to get down to a smaller number. And then it was the final smaller number. Then we're like, okay, now the board is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Now the staff can effectively vote on their winner, right?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I mean, with 3.
Yeah, I don't know what the initial submission count was, because the awesome guys over at Flutter Serverpod, they did an initial like filter pass through it, and took out ones that didn't follow the rules or whatever. So the actual number of entries that I had to judge was like around 50-ish. So not in the yeah. There were it was like you watch a 3-minute video and you go through code and you do whatever, but I would say there's definitely some that kind of eliminate themselves within the first 30 seconds in some way or another. So yeah.
So you probably don't want to answer this question on stream, because I don't want us to be like promoting anything. But Kaylee, if you have like a good option for like a Serverpod friendly host that for putting your API up on, I would be open to recommendations. I
Serverpod. Serverpod has now a cloud that they
seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
Serverpod cloud. I don't know. I actually don't know if they're fully publicly available yet. They have like a wait list or a sign up waiting list, but they're pretty much anybody signing up is allowed on. But yeah.
You talk about Serverpod friendly. What do you mean by that? Because I mean, like, it is just a Docker container, and
yeah.
I have my company deployed on Google Cloud. It wasn't that hard, especially with AI. If you're not great with doing all those DevOpsy things, I use Warp for all of my DevOpsy stuff. Any like command line and like the G Cloud command line interface, like those kinds of things, I let Warp handle, and you can get up and running in less than a day easily.
So what I mean by that question, Simon, is I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I do not want to be a server administrator. Like that's just not something I want to do. I don't find joy in that. I hate everything DevOps related.
Yeah, but that's not what it is.
Right. So like I don't want to like manage a VPN, right? And so
even that, it's not what it is. It's
right.
Not how it works.
Okay. That's good. I probably need to educate myself then on how Serverpod works.
I think it's not necessarily server. I actually want to bring this up because this is something, since we're on this topic and we have a lot of questions. There's no questions in the queue as well, because we have one.
So just the last part of that, like I use I built like a simple .NET API for a project I'm working on, and put it on Microsoft's Azure App Service. Over the course of a month, that API got 3 calls, all 3 tests from me because I was building it out, and I got a bill for $35. And I was like, let's build this in something else. And I turned it all off. So that's kind of what I mean by that, right? Like,
you did it wrong.
Kind of agree. Yeah, kind of agree. So my company, just that I just have been doing this for the last couple of months of actually getting everything deployed, using Serverpod. All the stuff you're worried about is mostly pre-configured for you. It comes with several different options. So if you're an AWS person, there's that. Terraform's all set up. There's all those things are done. So you don't have to spend a lot of brain power trying to learn all the particulars. It will set up your load balancers. It will set up all that junk for you. In terms of cost, from a Google Cloud perspective, a lot of stuff is free until you hit a certain amount of bandwidth limits. There's a couple of things that charge no matter what, and that's like managing your like domain stuff, your subdomains, and kind of networking things. It's very, very cheap though, and a certain amount of database stuff costs out of the gate. But a lot of that, especially when you're still building, Google gives you free credits for a lot of things. So, you know.
I want to talk about this image that I put together a while ago. So this is what most people don't get. So I want to kind of like throw through this. So what you have here on a stack is basically what you might have involved in a piece of software, right, running on the cloud, right? So we'll go far right for a second. Software as a service, right, which is what we build, right? Essentially an app that is the service, right? And that is, it has all of the data, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system, cloud container technology, runtime, application there, right? So all of this is like cloud provided, right? This might be like, I don't know, something's provided by a cloud provider, right? On the far left is complete opposite of that. This is down to you to run this, right? So this is, let's say you're trying to make you buy your own server, you buy, you're hosting some network. It's up to you to deal with all of this. This is what your network administrator might do. And the various levels in between is what bit is your responsibility and what bit is the provider's responsibility, right? So in this sense, if you're doing infrastructure as a service, the virtualization layer and below is all down to the cloud provider, right? But it's up to you to provide the operating system and everything on top. So this is like a VPC or virtual private computer, whatever it is. Then you've kind of got the sort of container as a service, and this is what we're talking about, right? So this is the next layer up, which is where everything, the operating system, the container center, it's all handled for you. So you've just got a Docker container, and this is your runtime. So this would be the Dart runtime environment, and your application code and data, which is server pod in this situation. This is what you run. So in the Google sense, a container as a service, it would be cloud run, right? So you can just say, here, run this container, and bosh, off it goes. Don't have to worry about any of the stuff underneath. This is the bit that you don't want to have to manage, right? There's obviously various layers to this, and then again, platform as a service is just a little bit above that. They might provide, and this is like App Engine, right? So they provide the runtime environment that's specific to the technology you're running on. So like App Engine is an example of Google's one, and then you provide your application data that runs on the server side yourself. And finally, function as a service is like cloud functions, Firebase functions. I've forgotten what they're called on AWS, lambdas. And you're just providing essentially your business logic in your function and the data, right? The application is essentially split. They will handle all the error handling, the capacity planning, parallelizing, scaling, all that kind of stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, this is just like a basic kind of X to Y, right, sort of scheme here. So you get more agility on the right and more configurability on the left. So you're always going to be giving up what you can configure to what you're going to get managed for you, right? And this is the benefit. The benefit is it's being managed for you, but also you lose something with that, right? And this is just that kind of sort of image of that graph, basically, to say that, you're giving something up as you go. So, for example, the operating system you're running on, you can't choose a particular version or how that operate, what patch level that is, or how it's maintained, when it's up to date, when it's secure, because that's run for you when you do platform as a service, function as a service, right? The container technology, you don't know what it's using, when it's up to date, who's doing what, but this is what you're giving up. So for example, if you're doing a very secure system, you're going to be looking down here at infrastructure as a service, because you need to maintain particular pinned versions of the operating system or patch up to dates, and you're going to have system administrators to do that. Versus if you're like a startup and you just don't really care, you're going to be far on the right-hand side, right? You're going to be using function as a service, which is, you're building your app client side. It's using a couple of cloud functions. You're done. and using the software like so software as a service here would be like Firebase, right? Firebase Cloud Firestore, for example, is an example of software as a service, right?
So yeah, it does actually a lot. So like my go-to like tools that I've reached for, which like every tool is a hammer, right? The two things that I typically build on top of for my personal stuff are Firebase Cloud Functions and Firestore. Like those are my two go-to like grab things.
So that's this right-hand side, right? That's these two here.
Yeah.
So the minimum that you have to supply is data and function and business logic, right? Like for this. Now the where you kind of want to go to after where you're going to with ServerPod is this layer of container as a service, right?
That's what I was going to ask, is where ServerPod sits in this.
But the difference here is we say you're running it at this level, but here's the point: what ServerPod has given you is the runtime. That's their runtime, right? So start running ServerPod. The application and data layer is essentially split between you and ServerPod, right? ServerPod supplying all the foundational pieces, and you're just doing the customization bit on top. So effectively,
ServerPod is essentially providing the container, and I just choose a server to run it on. Got it. Okay.
So you basically need to find a provider that supports Docker containers or containers as a service, right?
Oh.
Now, when you configure that, like Cloud Run or something, you can then configure the scaling if you want to completely tear down the instances. Stuff
so that's what Terraform is. That part is actually done for you with ServerPod. Terraform is built into all of that, so you don't even have to worry about that part. You can change the configurations if you want, but it all comes pre-configured for you, and you can just bunk it up onto wherever you want to put it. It's so easy, embarrassingly easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that helped, maybe it didn't, but
No, it helps significantly. So like the thing that's in my head now is like, all right, so I have a bunch of like smaller little projects that I want to connect to one main mega project, right? So it's honestly microservice architecture. Like, I guess that would be my next question, is how would ServerPod work in microservice architecture?
So for my project, I wouldn't exactly call it microservice architecture, but I have 2 backends and 3 front ends, and they all kind of interact together. So sort of. It's your choice how you want to handle it. You can handle it in a way where they share a database. You can handle it in a way where, the Docker containers have different things running on them. You can have 2 isolated Docker containers. Like, you get to participate in how to set that up that's best for you. When I set up mine, I set up the one first, and I went through the directions like step by step and had a very hands-on participation in setting it up, and using all the documentation on ServerPod's website. When it came to deploying the second one, and I had to make those choices, I used the heck out of AI to help me do all of that. And I also had a framework of how things should look, and was able to use the planner I'm like, here's what I want to do. I want to deploy very similarly to this one. AI understands the whole context of my project. So let's have a conversation. What's better? Should I do this? Should I do that? And it presented me with all those options. And I was able to do meaningful research to figure out which of the options would work better for my circumstance. And then it helped me set up a plan to deploy the second time. And so the second time it took me a day the first time, and the second time was like 2 hours.
So I get that makes sense. That makes sense. So I guess my next question is like, okay, so I know that ServerPod gives you like a Flutter client inside the app that is designed to connect back to your ServerPod instance and handle data communication inside and outside of the Flutter app. Does it also give you like a REST API or something that you can connect to? Because the thing is like, let's say I've got like service over here, right? Project A, and I wanted to send a single piece of data up to like the main project. Like, my question is like, how am I going to make that call? Is there an API? Is there like, what is the process of getting those instances to talk to each other?
So what ServerPod comes with out of the gate, like when you start, so instead of doing Flutter create, whatever, you do ServerPod create, and what it builds out of the gate is 3 projects and a monorepo. One is your backend, one is a client, and one is Flutter. The client one is a fully generated versions of your API for the Flutter app to call. Now the server project comes with it built in the Relic web server, and the Relic web server provides you with that full access to your REST app.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
They are still, it's still endpoints, they're just the way the methods and everything are built in aren't as straightforward as calling like a normal REST API. But if you do it through the Relic web server, you don't have to worry about any of those things. So
got it. Yeah, because I don't want like a shared database. I want everything like in its own little container. That way, if something falls off, like
which is the choice that I made. Yeah, which is the choice that I made.
Okay.
And there are pieces of the project where I need one backend to talk to another backend, but they're separate. One front end to talk, like they do have to cross lines. But you can set up your configs to have password protected access to those APIs. You can there's a million different ways to make the solution that works for you. And I found it pretty straightforward and easy to change your mind.
Nice.
If you don't like it, you can do it another way. And
well, this chat has been enlightening for me. I don't know about anyone who's watching this. I think that I apologize. I took us on a complete wide tangent. So if you weren't curious about server pods, sorry.
I think it's quite valid. It's quite valid.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. We actually have some questions to go through. So
let's do it.
What do we have here? Regarding Signals plus MVVM, would you recommend Signals both in the Vue and VM and Vue model, so you can separate them for unit testing, new signals, but trying to figure out how to implement it? It depends on how you implement those things. To be fair, like if it's a model, then there should be no necessary signals inside the model. The model itself is the data that you're transitioning around, including a Vue model. But it depends on how you're implementing MVVM. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, it do however works for you.
So I don't like having any logic whatsoever in my Vue models. Like I understand that is a contentious thing, and people disagree with me on that.
Well, I think that's where a presenter comes in, right?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. To me, like a model should just have data, nothing else. The moment you put any logic inside your model, like you're to me, in my mind, it ceases to be a model at that point.
To me, a Vue model, to be clear, a Vue model is just a model that's for that particular view, right?
Right.
It's this is the format of data you need for that particular view. So imagine you've got a block. The state of the block is essentially your Vue model, right? That is what you need to understand what you need to render on the screen, what the build function needs. So that's essentially a Vue model, right?
So my approach to this is ripped off from Andrea. So if you're watching, Andrea, this is not mine, it's Andrea's. But like any business logic for managing the state of something, if it's localized to a single widget, I generally just create a controller for it. If it's state that multiple widgets are going to need to be aware of, then I elevate it to the level of a service. So I don't use MVVM proper, to be completely honest. I use a modified version of it that adds like a repository. But I generally, in my opinion, if you're putting logic inside of a model, you're doing it wrong.
I think anywhere where you need to monitor the state, that's where you use the signal.
Right.
That simple, right? That's how you would connect the two things together, right? So, or if you're trying to, essentially monitor other states of the app to build a view model, for example, that's the perfect place to do it, right? You would have a computed signal that is essentially listening to say signals of the current user, I don't know, the current page that they're viewing or whatever it is, and then that generates your view model that comes out, and that's what your view is rendering.
Lane says, right, but a view model is different than a model. I agree. a view model is different than a model, but I still don't think it should have business logic in it.
I'm kind of curious. What is your aspect of what's different between the two?
So for me, a regular model would be like, this is the response we're getting from like a REST API.
It's data. Yeah.
It's just straight data. And then for me, a view model would be, you have either simplified the main model coming in from the REST API, or I'm combining data from multiple models to create a single model that this specific view needs.
Yeah. But it's still, in a sense, just a model. It's just a PODO, right? A plain old Dart object, right?
But I still wouldn't put the logic
in it. It's getters, it's setters, it's storing data. That's what a model is, right? It's to store data.
Let's say that I did have like 3 different models that I needed to pull data from. The data for combining it would not be in the view model. I would have that either in a controller or a service, probably a service.
So you have a repository model as well, which depends on how you layer your architecture at that point. I will say that most people don't realize, like, you want to have, like, you might have a model that you communicate with your API around, which is maybe has like IDs of objects in and things like that. Whereas when you use it inside your front of the app, you actually want the object that's referenced in there. So for example, you might have a post that references a user that posted that in the data model you get back from server might just be the ID of the user. It's up to your app then to go, okay, do I have that user in my cache, or do I have it? And then combine those things and present that as a view model of both the post and the user combined, so that your front end can display a tile with the user's profile picture and whatnot, right? So that so you have your there's another name for this. I forgot what it is. Basically, your DTO, data transit object, right? That is your model that you're getting for your API versus the model that you have for your view. And so you might have 2 or 3 sets of the same, essentially similar model throughout your application. One that you're communicating with the API, one that you're caching, and one that you're using for your widgets and that you're using for display. But yeah, I mean, again, pick however you want to do it. I think there is that kind of thing. Am I doing it right? Is always a question you ask yourself when you're developing, I think. And the true answer to that is there is no right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is right? I mean, right is, does it function? Does it work? Right? Is it effective?
I would say there is a right. But that right changes from code base to code base. What's right is consistent with the code base.
There's principles that are right, but like every project is different. Every way that you understand how code works is going to be somewhat different for everybody. I too have my own, signature way of how I like to do testing. I don't think it has much to do with signals necessarily, but if you're trying to figure out how the best way to test your code is, as long as it's meaningful tests and you're, providing guardrails for your code, then you're doing it the right way. I think that's what matters.
It's interesting it is still, though, it's nice it's interesting to find out how other people are doing things. And especially if you're at the same company, maybe for a long time, you don't know anything about anyone else is doing, right? So it's nice to be able to discuss these things and talk about them. And that's really, I think, the question is, it's about validation of your own ideas than it is necessarily about finding what's right. I think people pose the question wrong. It's never about what's right. Again, what's right is, does the code compile, right? Effectively, right? Does it function? Then that's correct, right? In terms of it works. But I think what is good is a different thing, right? What works best for developers and the end product, what works and what doesn't work is.
So in case it's not super obvious why I say that I add a repository to the MVVM pattern, it's straight up just because it makes mocking stuff easier in testing, right? So like first off, my repositories are very thin. And they generally are created whenever we're touching a third-party package. So like the moment that we're touching Dio, for example, is a good place where I have got a repository, or the moment that we're touching, I don't know, like something that interacts with the file system or whatever. At that point, I create a repository, because rather than trying to mock things that are specific to that package, all I have to do is mock the interface that's in my repository and then give in Mockito like what I want it to respond with. And that makes testing dramatically easier for me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, Kaylee, what were you saying?
This is actually a very good segue into what I was going to say. You know, Mockito and Mocktail and all those things. It is one way to mock data. I do mine different, and mine's not wrong. And using Mockito's not wrong, but it's just another way to think about it and do it. I just extend my stuff and call it a test version of it. And
that's completely valid.
There you go. But it just kind of, you know, reinforces the point that there's not necessarily an exact right way and an exact wrong way to do things. There's a lot of ways to get at it.
When I was describing how I did an example, I've done it a couple of times now on the stream, of how mocking objects works in Dart. People are like really astounded it's that simple. It is just like implement this class and then you have a function, no such method, and that's it. You're done. Like that is literally like the entire implementation of it. You know, the idea of what Mockito and Mocktail have essentially done is just like some guardrails around that to kind of help you utilize the way that mocking works with Dart. So you can mock your own objects, right? But effectively, yeah, as you said, like you just, I'm going to create this instance that extends this thing and implement the functions I want to test. Done.
And if you're using something like Get It, it's so easy to do it because instead of referring to the actual class, you refer to the test version of it with Get It. Like, it's fine. It's good. Happy.
There's a right way to do things, and there's an even righter way to do things.
Okay, I am printing that out. I am framing it. I am hanging it on my wall. You know. That's a great phrase right there.
Right. What else have we got in the list of things here? How can function as a service do error handling? With great difficulty.
Yeah. Well,
so you say error handling. I mean, it depends on what you mean by error handling, right? So you've got logging. And then your cloud provider will have alerting systems that can alert you to any errors that come up inside of your functions. You've also got just responding with errors, right? As in terms of your function throws back, here's an error condition, right? Yeah, I mean, cloud function is just another name for a REST call, right? Like it's the same as most of these things. Like it's just I'm calling an endpoint and getting back a response. Anyone else got anything to add to that? I mean,
so what I would say, from having written more cloud functions than is probably appropriate for any developer, is that there is, I think the point that Richard makes here is very, very relevant, which is sometimes it's harder to do the error handling inside of the function itself, depending on what the error is, and frequently it is. And so if you're relying on something like cloud functions, you need to be a little bit more verbose in the errors that you report back and be prepared to handle them client side. At least that's what I do.
Yeah, I think that the other side of this is it may be a sign that you're outgrowing cloud functions.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there's a side which is, you know, you're now trying to combine. So a cloud function in itself is normal. The whole idea of serverless is a facade anyway, right? We're not going to go there. But the big thing around cloud function is meant to be supplying some glue logic between existing cloud services that you're using. They don't really, I mean, you can don't get me wrong, you can do a lot with them, but then you get into a situation where now you've deployed effectively the same code multiple times over every cloud function, and yeah, now you're better off. You're not getting definitely not getting your money's worth out of the cloud service provider anymore, right? You're paying a lot more to do a lot less. There'll be a transition point where, you know, it makes sense to have deployed it in now as a container and let the container scale based on the requests that are coming in or anything like that. So
As a side tangent, there is a thing, I forget what it's called, but it's like where you can vote on like feature requests and stuff. There's one out there for implementing Dart in Firebase Cloud
I
Functions.
started it.
Have they started it? Oh, thank God. I am so sick of TypeScript, guys. That's the real reason I'm interested in ServerPod is I am so sick of TypeScript.
So you've always been able to do Dart on the server. From day one, I've been pushing this.
You could transpile it into JavaScript.
No, you don't need to. No. You've always been able to do this. Like you can running Docker containers and containerized stuff. It's always been around.
But not on Firebase functions, right? Like it's specifically for Firebase functions that I'm talking about.
Right, Firebase functions the same infrastructure. Like it literally. This is the problem I'm saying. Like I know people say about cloud function and everything else, but what is the function actually providing for you? So it's a way of getting notified, but they literally said you can do that to anything, to any endpoint. Like there's nothing in the cloud system that stops you from getting notified about any of these events. The Event Arc is the system that Google uses for this, right? All the cloud providers have their own eventing system. So yeah, truthfully, I think every time I try and use cloud function, it's just a massive headache. I'm just like, and then to try and you can't really test them on your local side the same way, all working together. And as soon as I start guessing about how something's operating or working, it's just like, yeah, no. Right. All right. Should we?
So we've just learned that Simon loves cloud functions. That's what we've got out of this.
Best thing in the world.
I'll read one. Any insights into recent, I can't say that word, Xiaomi EV SU7 companion app? Sounds exciting. I have no idea what that is.
Never even heard of it. I'm guessing Xiaomi EV is electric vehicle. They've actually gone from making phones to electric vehicles.
Oh, is it a Flutter app?
I don't know. I'm just trying to understand. And then a companion app makes sense, right? I don't know how else to. I've never even heard of it before, but we're going to look it up because I'm kind of interested. Xiaomi EV. It is a car. Yeah, it's a Xiaomi SU7 revolutionary EV experience, equipped with a 16.1-inch display.
Remember when everyone thought Apple was making a car?
I do remember that. It was like a 5-minute brief notion, and then it went away forever.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
It's a smart cabin technology. 16.1-inch 3K ultra clear central control display panel with large 56-inch HUD. Rotating dashboard. Blah, 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 blah.
Michael just said there's a Medium article on the Xiaomi companion app in Flutter. Does anyone actually use one of their phones?
I mean, there's a few different stories here. Xiaomi trusted Flutter to unlock $30,000 car. Are you still doubting it? Like Flutter, get over yourself.
Flutter's officially dead, guys. That's it.
Yeah,
it's dead.
It's over.
It's over.
I don't even know where to begin. All that kind of stuff. Oh, there's a showcase on the official Flutter site now. Was out for it. The video. I'll post that in the chat for people that want to go check it out. But yeah, I think right. When do you guys have to leave? Because
8 minutes. I got pulled into a grooming session that for a team I'm not even on anymore, but I still have to be there apparently. So
I have a feeling it's going to be a ginormous waste of your time.
It is. No, no psychic abilities required. Yeah, fun fact though. If any of you have a Bamboo Labs 3D printer, their companion app is also Flutter. So That's cool.
I think it's nice to see there's a lot of apps using Flutter under the hood, right? Like as in like it's one of those difficult things, right? No one talks about like I've made something with Flutter, right? It's not really like same as no one says I made something with Android or React. Like companies just don't go out their way to advertise the platform or technology that they build their stuff with, right? So it is kind of a bit more difficult to kind of glean if someone's using Flutter or not as their product. I will suggest there is an app on Android that anyone can download called Flutter Shark, and that if you run that app, it will tell you what apps on your phone have made with Flutter. So that can be an interesting experience for you. Try that out.
It's always entertaining to run Flutter Shark and then see a list of all the apps I've written show up.
Yeah. Cool. What is any more questions coming in? Because we haven't got much long left of the show. We're gonna end things early today. And Kaylee, have you only got an hour as well?
Have I got what?
How long have you got to
Yeah. I got a jam in 6 minutes now.
There you go. You got 6 minutes. Get your final things in. Otherwise, I'm just looking through the Reddick source code actually. Having a peruse.
Steph is offering to join if you would like to continue for longer than an hour.
Steph, if you want to join, we could do some live coding.
All right.
Sorry, I just saw this. That's brilliant. My VP vibe coded an app in Flutter and demoed it to us. The debug banner gave it away. It always does.
VP's vibe coding stuff is, that's the timeline
What
we
could
live.
go wrong?
I think the problem here is it's always like here it is. I've seen there's like here it is. I've made a picture come up on the screen. Now I've seen that here it is. It's done now. Let's just release it. It's like no.
Well,
there's so much more to this than just like making a pretty picture appear on the screen.
You know, when in conversations with stakeholders and business people, or even a designer, and you're talking about where you're building, my answer is always, I can make anything you want. That's not the question. The question is, should we do this? Should we do this? And how much time do you actually want me to invest in doing a particular thing? So I've been one designer that was obsessed with, certain drop shadowy things, or this has to be this custom thing and that, and I'd be like, oh, sure, I can do that. I can do exactly pixel perfect what you're asking, but it is going to add several more days to me actually being able to output this, because I have to rebuild it custom, because it doesn't come out like this out of the box. So it is your choice. It's not a question of can we do it, but should we do it? So VP's vibe coding stuff is just a whole level of should we actually be to people.
I was wondering when we would get to AI. It feels like it happens every show. The more I use it, the more I realize it's a scalpel. It's a tool, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, anyone can use a scalpel. I could walk up to anyone and use a scalpel. You don't want me to use a scalpel? Yeah, exactly. Anyone can use a scalpel. Look, I cut stuff, right? But the problem is that, like, the difference between using AI and getting to a really good result that's maintainable and going to be a good foundation to build on top of for the long term, and getting like a page of slop, like it's really difficult for people to tell the difference between those two things. And as someone who got handed an entire giant page of AI slop today, I feel your pain. Like, your VP doesn't understand how to get the AI to build this thing for long-term sustainability. Because here's the thing: when you go to add a feature, the AI is going to look at what's already been done and repeat those patterns. And so that's not cool. Like, I have a friend who was like, okay, I want to add this feature, and he actually pulled in the old code base, and he was like trying to refactor like the old code base to not do some bad patterns that were early on. And the AI immediately gloms onto those bad patterns and like doubles down on it. And it just made a massive mess. And that is, if you don't understand what the AI is doing, then, you know, that's exactly the type of thing that is going to happen to you. So slash rant, I've to be gone in 60 seconds. So that's my final thought for the day.
I think one thing that VPs and people who maybe don't use AI every day for coding, what they fail to realize, I use it a lot, but I have put in the work to build the guardrails and the context and the rules and all the stuff surrounding it so that it is capable of putting out code that suits my standards. So I put in the work to make it look easy to get the correct output. But if you don't know how to do that, you're not going to get that quality output.
100%. Or why your comp sci degree is still relevant. Yeah. Or your training or whatever. Yeah. So I don't have a comp sci degree, but whatever. So yeah. Okay. Well,
I went for that, but I did not finish because in 1995, 96, when web was exploding everywhere, I got offered a job that I just could not refuse, and they weren't teaching web stuff at college at all. Yeah. So
I have associate's degree in computer programming that taught me how to write in COBOL. That is like in the entirety of my professional like education when it comes to the development. But all right, guys, I got to hop off for this pointless meeting. So it was good chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for having me on as always, Simon. And I will talk to everyone later.
Bye.
And I will stay on until Steph gets here. She says she is finishing inhaling her breakfast, and she'll be on. So I can hang out for a few minutes till she gets here.
I'm actually just browsing through. So you know Relic. I haven't actually had a chance to use it yet. So I figured, you know what? Let's have a look around it. Let me share my screen here. Why not? Since we're going to go with some live coding after this, so bear with. Let's see if it's working. Let's do that, that. How's that? Is that coming through okay?
It is very small, but
yeah, I'll make it bigger now.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of having a look through how Reddit could have broken down. I mean, the example, I don't know where it was now. String type APIs validate HTTP headers, unified bodies, built-in tree-based router, improves performance. Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, they've made like good performance improvements too, and parsing and so on.
So I know they have plans to do even more. They want to
say, because the things that are needed aren't in here. I need to have a chat. I need to have a chat with
Victor.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I think this is the 1.0 version. So I've been mostly like, it was the 0. whatever version on ServerPod up until recently, and was working with that. It's very rudimentary. It functions, and I was using it for webhooks. But I know that their goal is to get it a little more like Jasper friendly type of thing, and build some more like Flutter like web elements to run on it. I don't know how far they've gotten with that, but I know that's part of the goal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, there's certain things on here that I could definitely say would need to be updated. A big one of what I was thinking of was actually I'm trying to find where it was now. It was in there just a minute ago, and then I've lost the thing. Wasn't in core IO. Sorry, browsing around. Yeah, I mean, like this doesn't support this out of the box is just HTTP 1.1. Doesn't support HTTP 2 or 3, which I think is, in my eyes, is very important, especially when it comes to WebSocket handling. So there's definitely some improvements that can happen in that regard. There's also things like this where, if you're going to forward over a connect handler, then forward over all of the parameters for connect. These aren't the only parameters. So I think like when you want to customize some things, it becomes one of those things of, I can't use this library. I have to like copy and paste it and like change things, right?
Yeah.
So I think it is a very fine line when you're building an SDK library where what you want to expose and support. But in this case, it's like you're essentially wrapping, the platform WebSocket implementation with your own, then, forward over all those parameters.
I haven't used the WebSocket stuff yet with it, but many of the people from the hackathon did. And so there's definitely some very successful results with it, and people are using it. How performant and secure and all the other things with it, I can't really.
There's also an aspect here of correctly correctly was the wrong word, but also handling streaming of data. I'm not sure I'm seeing that just yet. It's one of those things with HTTP, right? When you've got your basic, I'm going to send a request and send a request and get a response, and that's very much, blob for blob, as it were. But then when you send a request and you need to stream data back down, so for example, you are sending maybe a gigabyte of data or some large amount of data, then hopefully not, but there are situations where maybe you need to send a few megabytes of data or something, right? When actually what you want to do is chunk that down. You want to stream it down in sections to the app, so that the server is not having to load all that in memory at the same time just to get out the door. So normally a lot of the stream processing you do is to reduce that memory overhead, is to read some. Let's say I'll give an example. You're reading a paginated data set from a database, right? What you can do is you could actually be reading a row from the data set, with the cursor from the database. You process that row into a JSON object. You then send it down the wire. You're then sending the next. You're just doing that in a loop, essentially, sending each one. Now, the overhead of actually running in memory your server is only necessary the memory bandwidth of one row, not an entire page, right? That's a stupid example, but a page normally it's not too much data, right? But you can imagine that suddenly you're now dealing with a large amounts of requests. Suddenly that makes a difference. Yeah, having the ability to stream data is quite an important one. I'm not got enough context here, not just browsing around right now. So
yeah, I would say, I don't want to speak for Victor or ServerPod or anybody.
I'm not saying it's not good. Be clear about it, right?
Well, a lot of those things that you're mentioning, and a lot of the things that that kind of functionality comes through the ServerPod side of it. Relic is just a piece of the puzzle so that you can access your server through a web server. It's not.
Yeah, but one thing is, if the web server doesn't support that ability, then neither can anything built on top of it support that ability, right?
Well, but within how everything is generated, you're accessing the server through the client that's built, which is separate from the web server. So it's just got a lot of different layers to it, and Relic is only one piece of that puzzle. So if you're doing a direct call to a REST API through Relic, then yes. But if you're using your Flutter app that is using the pre-built client stuff with ServerPod, it's not calling.
That still goes through. They're using Relic under the hood for hosting the ServerPod APIs, right?
Mm-mm.
So
it's a piece of it, and it's a piece that's available, but there's several different pieces. So I am not technical enough on the specific backend stuff to lay it out exactly, but like you could run your whole server pod app completely and not touch the relic stuff at all.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is their library uses relic under the hood, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Right. So again, the whole streaming approach, that means you can't stream through, send streaming responses back if relic does, if relic didn't support it, then you couldn't do it through server pod because it's built on top of it.
So I guess like when you're accessing through the domains, they are separate domain. Like the API is different than the app, which is different than so they have relic running on a different piece of it.
I will find out. I mean, at some point, like querying right now, like we don't know, and like let's. We'll have to have talk to. Oh my goodness, Victor tell me. I need to catch up with them. It's been a while. Yeah, but what they're doing is absolutely brilliant. It's been needed for a while. Like some good.
And their Discord server has been pretty tremendous. It's fairly new, so there's probably a little more moderating that needs to happen. There's a few of the same kind of spammers that come on advertising their Upwork services or what have you. But the help desk in their Discord is outstanding. The server pod guys are very, very available, which has been really helpful. And we have Steph.
Hi.
Hey, Steph.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
How's one of our newest administas?
Doing well. I was very excited to Danielle actually pinged me before coming on to the show today, and she was like, make sure you tell everybody that you are now also a co-manager. And I was like, you got it, I can do that. So I'm very excited for I was telling everybody earlier that one of the benefits of being a Flutterista is we get access to great people like Khan, who will be speaking to this week. So
I'm really excited. Yeah, when we had our meeting and we were trying to talk, I'm like, oh, get Khan. Not that I don't want to see Craig or Eric, but Khan's an inspiration.
Yes, I agree. And I've been wanting to tell her. It's so funny with her plant ID app thing. Everybody always looks at me because I don't know if you know this. So
didn't you say you had like 200 and something?
The number fluctuates, but
gotcha.
it's round about 200 plants. I am my own plant identifier.
Because I was still waking up, I didn't watch almost all of them until I started chiming in. I saw the conversation about I don't know what precipitated the AI conversation. I came into the live stream when Matt was saying about it being a scalpel and that he could use a scalpel.
Someone said there, I'm sorry, I forget who said. Someone said, this is it. Lane said their VP vibe coded a Flutter app and demoed it to them, and the debug banner gave it away in the top corner, right? And we were just saying that the fact that it is that kind of people then come along and say, "Look, I've done it. Let's just release it." It's like, no. That's not the fun.
No. We even talked about that yesterday. Yeah, it's like you can create something, but you still need somebody to go through and review it and things like that. By the way, Simon, my vibe coding app is working.
Yeah.
And now I want to add more to it. So, and then review the code. This is the
scary thing. You get scope creep really easy with AI.
Well, no, I know.
I'm just saying.
And it's all checked in. I did make sure to tell it to always check in.
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing of like, oh, this is how they get you, right? This is how they get you spending loads and loads of money with with an online
Well,
with
I
one of these
already-
online providers, right? Where they're like, oh yeah, you can code anything you want with AI, and then it's like scope creep, just continue using AI forever. Yeah.
Well, I did bump up to the next level on Augment Code, so because I ran out of my $20 tier.
I think you found the power in it though, right?
Yes,
it's helped you out. Right? So.
Yes, it did. It helped me a lot, and I would tell it, okay, I'm going to go do some research because I don't like what you're saying, and did some research and came back and said, so why not use this? And it's like, oh, you're absolutely right. I totally missed this. I mean, it was something to that effect.
I find even without doing that research, just questioning it constantly is part of the process.
Did you bring up the Claude that Claude MD file that I don't.
I added it to my guidelines and
no, I'm saying, did you come up on the show
yesterday?
Yeah.
No, because you weren't there and I forgot about it.
Yeah, so did I.
And yesterday we limited. I mean, we had to end because Jen was leaving, so we just did roughly an hour.
I'm gonna bring
with him talking about his QI, and it was that I was.
So this is brilliant. Yes. So I've been using this. Reduce common LLM coding mistakes. So basically, think before. These are just good coding practice answers, right? Like when you actually look at it, it's just like what you should adhere to yourself. But when you actually see it on here, you're like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. So yeah, think before coding. Don't assume. Don't hide confusion. Surface trade-offs before implementing. State your assumptions explicitly. If uncertain, ask. If multiple interpretations exist, present them. Don't pick silently. If a similar approach exists, say so. Push back when warranted. If something's unclear, stop. Name what's confusing. Ask. Simplicity first. Minimum code that solves the problem. Nothing speculative. No feature beyond what is asked. No abstractions for a single use code. No flexibility or configurability that wasn't requested. No error handling for impossible scenarios. If you write 200 lines and it could be in 50, rewrite it. I mean, this is just like good coding practice things, right? Like, I love this. Ask yourself, would a senior engineer say this is overcomplicated? If yes, simplify. I thought this is brilliant.
So when I added this as guideline to Augment Code, and I restarted, did all that, and I came in and it was doing something, and I said, "You're not following the guidelines," and it was very apologetic that it didn't follow. He goes, "Let me go back and look at this," and then it was doing better. Yesterday though, because I had it do a mermaid diagram for me, and I wanted it a specific way, and I didn't like the background color because if I print it, I don't want that. And so it completely undid everything. I said, you did not follow what I said. So it's apologized to me recently. But anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Surgical changes does touch only what you must. Clean up your own mess. Brilliant, right? When editing code, don't improve adjacent code, comments, or formatting. Don't refactor things that aren't broken. Match existing style if you do it differently. If you notice unrelated dead code, mention it. Don't delete it. These are just good coding practice things, right? What every coder should do, right? And it's just like so good that they're laid out like this. When your changes create orphans, remove imports, variables, functions that your changes made unused. Don't remove pre-existing dead code unless asked.
So recently,
trace directly to the user's request.
Recently, I was doing something and the AI did it wrong, and I highlighted it and I said, "No, don't do it this way. Do it another way." And it rewrote it, but kept the wrong way, using the reason that it needed to for backwards compatibility. I'm like, backwards compatibility to what exactly? The thing you wrote 5 minutes ago that sucked?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, goal-driven execution. Define success criteria, loop until verified. Transform tasks into verifiable goals. Add validation. Write tests for invalid inputs, then make them pass. Fix the bug. Write tests that reproduce it, and then make it pass. Refactor X. Ensure tests pass before and after. This is good. Again, just things that every developer should do. But I just love the way that it's kind of broken down like this into some simple bullet points that really affect the way that the AI operates.
For bigger teams that use different AIs, I find it better to do these things under agents.md rather than.
Oh no, it's the same. No, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, this just be clear. This is
that for our viewers in case they think they have to do it in multiples.
Yeah, and what I found when I was doing it in Augment Code is you could set it up as rules, but it's specific for that project, where by putting it in guidelines, it's going to cover all the different projects, which right now I only have one, supposed to be two. So I need that to finish my other ones.
There's a whole skills thing now, isn't there? Like a whole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really looking into that.
It's basically like repeatable tasks in some sense. So, for example, with ServerPod, you have to constantly regenerate your code and, do migrations and do different things. So instead of doing those things yourself every time or rewriting the same instructions to the AI to have it do it, you can create a task that's a skill, and then it will do that same skill. Randall's review method of good, bad, and ugly can make that a skill, as an example. So I like the skills. On that note, though, it is time for me to go. So now that Steph is here to take on.
Let's do some coding.
I have no idea what I'm going to do to help with the coding part. But hey, I'm here.
Look at the comments.
See you guys later. Have a good one.
Thanks for dropping by, Kenny. Right.
What did you say? Look at the comments. Oh, you're talking about what Richard wrote?
No, I'm saying that in the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Eye on what's going on, I guess. So we were working on this previously, right?
Oh right, I was here last week.
Sorry.
I think I was here last week. No, I wasn't. I was watching. Wait, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, after last week's show, I went and I just literally threw in a prompt. Literally threw in. Oh, hang on, scroll up, make it bigger. Oh, not that big. So this is big enough. Yeah, you're a professional flight developer, and I'm making a Flutter app. We're going to work together, edit application, add a category gear page like the one shown here, and I just dumped in the thing from the designs. I'll help you create this. And it just went off and did its thing. It tried to run it. I said, I'm already running it. He went, okay, perfect. Check these things.
I just learned something. What you just showed because I haven't tried. I have some screenshots. What I was talking about, the enhancements for the app that I've been working on. I have screenshots of what I want. I hadn't tried doing make changes to make it look similar to this with pictures, and I'm glad that you just showed that because now I know I can do it.
Anyway,
see, I learned something.
So it made this screen here, which is very close to the designs, which are over here. So this is the design for the screen. There you go. And what we got. So I think I did a pretty good job considering that, everything else.
Yes.
And it got the episode count, ordered them. It decided to come up with some icons and a color scheme that works similar to the app. I was like, sure, why not? For now,
I like the different colors, and keep in mind dyslexia. I like the colors, and with the different icons, I do think the icons should be different. So you've got the same.
Oh yeah. No, this is just because. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Again, we'll get back to that in a second. So because there is no there's no icons coming from an API here, right? So it's a bit more complicated. But anyway, I see it used a fixed grid. It was pretty basic. So now you've used a fixed grid. I prefer to use intrinsic height for each row of 2 cards, right?
Got it.
They figured it all out. Okay, the name of the card should have a minimum line count of 2 with 2 adjacent cards in the same row. And it went ahead. I just thought I'd just try and vibe some stuff, right? It added min lines to the text. I was like, that's not a valid parameter. Please come up with another way. And it figured it out and did it. Extra bit line to the bottom. What else did what was the next on there? It didn't load into the next screen, so now it loads into the next screen when you tap on them. yeah, and that was it really. I mean, like there wasn't like a lot going on here, but it was really nice to see, like I can tap on it now and see the list in model training or I don't know, optimization, and off they go, and I think that this is kind of a nice, like, software engineering. Yeah, it's kind of a nice, like, addition to this that didn't take, just took a few minutes. So, but at the same time, it's like now this is, and this is where it comes back to this point now, right? That we're talking about earlier. This is now a bunch of AI written code that it needs reviewing, right? Like there's definitely certain things in here that I would not be doing,
especially you.
And just
and this
maybe
is what you
ways
created.
it's approached to do again some of this stuff is very much like just throw it all in and see what happens, right?
Right.
But it's I asked it to comment it as well, so we got some nice comments in here. But it's not.
That's one thing that I definitely like. I can't remember that I told the Augment code to add comments. It's doing it. It could be because when the code was originally done with Gemini, I had told it to have that, and it could be in the PRD too. I don't remember it. I started this back in November and got frustrated, and now I am actually really happy. So thank you, Simon, for your wisdom and introducing me to Augment code, even though I've been watching you do it on everything, but convinced me I could do $20.
So let's see let's see what the AI did.
Yes.
And what is wrong with this? So I was looking at this going, there's a lag. I'm clicking and there's I'm assuming
nothing's updating.
Click. Well, it's not just I'm not updating. That's not really the problem here. The problem here is actually the fact that it's laggy. And I'm like, well, what the hell's going on there? Yeah, extract categories. So it's listening to the signal of episodes, extracting the categories. So it does this whole sort of extraction and lookup and sorting
every time
build runs.
Oh yeah, no.
Right. And these are the type of thing you're like, hang on a second, what are you doing? Right. Obviously
so now I have my FCAIC team lead AI pessimist hat on top of my Flutter hat. Anyway, are you going to make the changes yourself? Do you recommend people make the changes themselves, or do you recommend, or like, is it like onesie twosie things? Because we're not all the Flutter whisperers, Simon. But
if you know what to do, do it.
Do it. Otherwise, give the guidance to the AI. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know what to do, you could ask the AI to give you some hints or to do it for you. Right? I mean, but if you're noticing something wrong, then you've got two options. If you're feeling lazy, ask the AI to correct it. You may have to correct it again, or just correct it yourself.
Yeah.
So I think about this is a good example. I think that we've got to be quite careful about reviewing AI code, right? Like any code that especially goes into the public repository, because those are going to be trained. They're going to be using that to train AI code in the future, right? Anyway,
there's a question. Let me just share it.
Go for it.
Okay. Michael asks, reminded that we should all be looking at quote unquote good code to improve our own skills. Other than the Flutter Dart code base, would you recommend other developers you look up to for their good code? Oh, I always look at Simon. That's me.
That's a good question. I tell you, I mean, what I tend to do is if I find like a package I'm interested in on pub.dev, I'll go look at the code, right? How do they do that? What is that? How's it working? That's interesting. I don't think I've got a particular, I don't think I can think of a particular person or anything like that. I mean, all code is
my dream is someday you look at my code. But I'm a long way from there. SQL code. Hey, SQL code, totally. You could model my SQL code.
So okay, let's. Yeah, Andrea's got some good stuff as well. Yeah, Richard. Yeah,
Yes.
he'd be on that list for sure. Yeah, Rhoda Davis, Romani guy. Yeah, again, some good names. I can't think of it. When someone asks you for these things, it just all drops out of your head, doesn't it? Like
Yeah, totally.
I don't. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So the question is do we want to like tidy this up and review it before we commit it, and we can talk about what the best ways to do the various things on the screen are, or we could get the AI to implement the other two screens.
I think you should commit this, and then have.
Well, I don't want to commit
changes
anything that's not ready to be committed. So I put this on a branch, and then it stays on the branch until we're ready to review it and get it in, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, you do have it. Okay.
Or what we could do is do like the library screen, and then review it all at the same time before we get in, right?
That's true. Yes. I like that idea.
All right, so let's see. So the library screen. We need to let's grab an image of it. Thing is, this isn't the final form, as they say. Yeah, kind of.
What's the difference between these?
Oh, well, this is the problem, right? Like, I haven't actually, like, I got to the point with the AI where it wasn't really giving me what I wanted, but I haven't gone back to it to look at the screens and maybe get to what I want. So this filter bar at the top here is really incorrect, right? There's not going to be a popularity, but sorting it by date, topic, or just what you've most recently saved, right?
Yes, I think that makes sense.
Is basically what this is. So I think what we could do is, I mean, first of all, we need a mechanism in the app.
Okay, wait. Why would you? So if this is a public source, like it's pulling from public thing, why would you not want to have popularity also as something so that
there's no popularity information? There's nothing on here about.
Oh, got it. Okay. See,
there's no data for that.
Not been there. Okay, perfect.
This was what the AI designer came up with. I'm like, okay, great.
Now I understand. Thank you for your patience.
So, what was it? Yeah, let's. I don't want to take. What are we going here? We've got this kind of. Everything ends up being these cards, which I it's nice to have a slightly different layout. I'm not sure that makes any sort of difference, but I think we'll do that. So let's do the. I think we'll do the library screen. Let's use some. Should we use some AI?
Wait, have you put the what you had in the Claude MD in your rules or guidelines? Yeah. Okay. Just catching up.
I'm not sure I want to give it this screen. What I'm going to do is give it more specific instructions about what we have right now. I'm going to describe it in words and see what it comes up with, because I don't want this. This is going to lead it off into realms that I don't want to put it. So, let's go back to you're a professional Flutter developer.
So you started a new agent. That's one thing.
Yeah, helping me build a Flutter app.
Should you put you're a senior professional?
I don't think you're professional senior Flutter developer. There you go. I know. I mean, just. I don't.
I've heard different things, and so that's why I was asking, because that's something that we.
It's just a hint to tell it that it knows about Flutter.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a Flutter app. I mean, I could just say we're building a Flutter app, and that'd probably be good enough. Let's see. This app has a library tab that displays the user's favorited episodes. This screen will allow the user to filter the content to either most recently added to the library, I guess, most recently added.
So I'm curious
Episode.
why you spelled the favorited the non-English way.
Because probably American English trained on data set.
Okay.
I like, they don't really care about spelling most of the time. They have favorited, yeah. The
I
term
didn't know if it
favorite,
made a difference.
the term favorite is not actually used within the app at the moment. I think I'll describe the problem and say, let's build a task set to deliver this. Episode release date, what was I said? Topic, yeah, category. Category. Or by category. When displaying by release date, the list should be sorted and grouped into I think months was the into months with all episodes released in each month appearing within that group in the list. When displaying by category, the list should be grouped by category. Category with each group in the list being each category that the episodes within. What else can we say here? The library screen would be titled library in the heading and have a search option allowing full text search.
Richard made a comment, would be better as a task list.
Now I want to describe, this is what I'm going to say, describe this into a task list. I'm building this
okay.
as describing what I'm looking for. Then this would then build into a task list, and then we can execute the task list.
Okay.
Let's see, what else was I saying? Yeah, each episode would be displayed as a tile within the list based on, I don't forget what our widget is. Have like a episode card. That's it.
Lane made a comment. So are you using it almost like planning mode and then agentic off that? Yes, I believe that's what he's doing.
Effectively, yeah.
Doing it as a multi-stage, yeah.
Each episode should be displayed in the tile within the list based on episode card widget. However, the layout no, as a new tile widget that displays the. I can bring this over. I'm just describing this thing over here. Displays the thumbnail, title. Can't remember what the fields are called now. Must be description. They fixed this, by the way, in the most recent version of Flutter. So now you don't specify the font weight, also uses the variation weight as well, which is nice.
Are you updated to the most recent version of Flutter?
I'm not on. I've had to switch between different Flutter versions, so no, not on this build right now. So
okay.
Shouldn't affect anything we're doing though. Hopefully. Where's it gone? Title. I feel like I'm missing something here.
Should you include the date?
Hang on. Oh, that was it. It's release string, and author last name.
So I would say allowing the user to keep or remove the entry from their library.
So what were you saying?
I was saying that where you have the bookmark icon should appear on the right, allowing the user to remove the entry from their library. I think it should say allowing the user to either keep or remove the entry.
Keep? Well, you got to tap that. It's going to remove it because you're in the library. It's only going to appear in the library.
Okay. I get it now. Thank you. There is a question. I don't know.
Let's just do this.
Go ahead and finish, and then we'll come to the questions.
Help me plan the tasks to achieve my goals. Once we are happy, we'll go ahead. Once we let's press that. I don't know. Yeah, I know this is the thing, Richard. Right? Like I'm not. But let's see what comes up with, right? Right. I just did it. I just did it with episode card, not the library tab. And we'll see if it works out. See if it finds the library tab. Whoops. Oh, there it's on the library tab. Okay. So let me explore and understand the existing navigation structure, categories, and patterns. Right. So I'm not basing this off with any information about the. There's no agents like MD or anything that explains anything to the thing. Now let me examine the existing library tab and common widgets. I understand them. Navigate to the home screen overlay and search patterns for the theme. Now I have a comprehensive understanding of your code base. Let me summarize what I've learned in the proposed task. Signals for state management. Yeah. Persistence. Sure thing, buddy. Episode model. Unique identifier. Sure. string timestamp, whatever. Episode cover which shows thumbnail on the right, title description on the left with a release and category chips, navigation, show routes. Home screen overlay shows how to implement search with computer signals. Proposed task plan, right? Phase 1. Data layer, persistence with signals, favorites manager, a manager class similar to auth manager that stores a set of string with episode slugs or favorited episodes, uses persisted signals to persist to share preferences. It provides an add favorite, remove favorite, and is favorite methods to track whether each episode is added for most recently added sorted. Tracks when each episode was added. It integrates into backend, favorites manager backend class with build context extension. This is exactly perfect. This runs about what we've already done. Library episode tile widget, new tile with thumbnail on the left. So it's picked up that I'm saying about it being different. Unlike episode widget on the right, perfect. Tile description, release date, and author name. Bookmark icon button on the right to remove it from the library. Tabable to navigate to each episode. Create a filter enum for library filter modes with recently added release date and category. Phase 3. So now, okay, so we've got like, you know, the back end, the component, the item component. Now we've got the screen, library tab, library header, search icon, search button in the header, filter chips for these 3 things, grouped list display with selected filters, blah, 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 blah. Empty state with no favorites, implement search functionality, full text search within favorited episodes. Phase 4, integration, wire up the bookmark button and episode screens. Sure. Questions before we proceed. Look, it's understood that I asked it to give me questions, you see. So recently added tracking. Should we store the timestamp when each episode was favorited? This is needed for most recently added sorted. I'm assuming yes. Yes. Let's make a small model for a favorite and store the timestamp with it. 2. Should the search be an screen or inline with the filter tab? Inline filtering the content of the library tab. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I'm curious if, because it's spelled favorite the way you do, if I hadn't called out, if it would have left it the American
It probably would.
Or...
It would have just done it. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder. Sorry, I just thought. I wonder if you were to use the British spelling for things, if it would actually use British sources of information to kind of like it'd be. They would be obviously weighted more to the response than the American ones, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting, right? That's thought. Empty state.
Hi,
What should display when the library is empty? A simple message and something more elaborate. Simple message with an icon for simple message with a CTA to suggest the user presses the favorite button on episodes to add to their library of favorites. 4. Category grouping. When grouped by category, if an episode belongs to multiple categories, should it appear in each category group or just once? That's a good question, because an episode can appear in multiple categories. I think in all of them. Appear multiple times. It's a difficult one, but I don't think there's a nice way of doing it. Appear multiple times. In multiple times. Once in each group. Confirmation remove. Should remove require confirmation or be immediate with potential undo. It'd be kind of annoying when you want tap, 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 tap. I always hate that sort of pop-up. So I think remove with undo. Immediate. Remove.
What about
undo snack bar?
Okay, hold on. So what about it pops up, and then you can check it to say to just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now I do. It's nice to say that, but now I need to have a screen where they can uncheck that, where they can
So
reset.
you know, like where it pop. Yeah.
Oh.
So then they can choose to either have it display.
You froze there for a second. Say again.
Okay, sorry. So I would say if you have a pop-up, have the user confirm, and then there's a little checkbox that says always display this or just do it. You know, something like that.
I'm Steph, I'm not wrong. I like the idea, but there's also about how you approach development, right? That is a version 2, right? Because you've got to think about how am I going to persist that across devices and logins. That's that option, right? Am I going to back that up with the user's account? Does that, suddenly the scope of just adding that tick box ends up being a wider thing than you realize, right? Like, is it just for that session? Is there things to go with that? When the answer is a nice one, but is also how often is the user going to be doing this, and are they going to be caring, and then all of that. It's nice to add these features, but not at the cost of development time to get it out the door. That's what I'd say just to the remark. All right, and let me know your thoughts and questions and breakdown of these looks once we agree to the plan or start implementing. Excellent. Those are clear decisions. Let me create a task plan. Tick tock, tick tock. Here we go. Adding tasks. So it's laying out. So what it's done here in Augment is actually laid out a bunch of tasks of all the things it's going to do. And yep, blah, blah, blah. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, wire it all up. Aspect of, these are the answers basically, right? For what we asked. Does this look good? Yes. Let's do it.
Randall put a comment. Augment is sucking up to Simon again. He wasn't here when you were writing your prompt, and that you have that Claude MD, the text from as one of your guidelines or rules.
It's gonna. Oh, this is going to use JSON annotations because the other models do. Good. And he's going to run the build generator. That's nice. It's building. Should we see what it's doing? Keep an eye on it. This is what we expect to show when there we go. What's it done? Favorite model, date added, slug, standard stuff. Cool. Okay. Task 1 is complete. Now let's move on to task 2, creating the favorites manager. So it's going to, this is the first time we're going to tell it to create persistent signal, so we'll see what it does. It's going to run Dart and analysis and see what comes up. Which it's not too bad. Just imports and things. Task 2 is complete. Now let's move on to task 3.
Okay, so go over to the task list. So it says that it updated the task list.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I haven't seen that, so I like that. Okay, cool.
Yep. Now it's on this task here. So far, I haven't really given the initial prompt, and it's the way it goes, right? So it says create a favorites manager. Sorry. Favorites. Here we go. Favorites manager. I'm gonna let it go. Okay, uses a persistent signal. So we have a favorite signal with a store with favorite to initialize it. We have an add favorite, remove favorite. restore favorite. That's for the undo. Is favorite, get favorite. And there's our favorite signal. Easy enough. Okay. Let's go back to our where are we? Back to our AI and see what's doing now. I'm trying to make it big, but also need some room on screen. Right, where are we going here?
You could also cover the simulator while you're doing this part too.
True. So we've got favorites managed in the backend. Yes. So now backend class has as a getter and an instance of it being created and initialized, which is nice. Now it's going to create the library episode tile.
Wait, scroll back to the top. I like how it put, unlike the episode card, this widget displays that it added that to its comments because you told it to be different.
I mean, it's chosen the same super ellipsoid shape. It's made similar. It's used. The reason I gave it that is I wanted it to use that as its prompt. You know.
Yeah.
So this looks good so far. So episode thumbnail has been copied over. So we need to make that to make that a public widget and reuse it on both. Also, we need to add caching for those. There's no caching at the moment. What else have we got here? It's going right, jumping right ahead. Let's see. Episode copy again. Now look at them. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. Library filter enum. That was this. Yeah. Standard. Task 5 main light tab UI implementation. It's adding the IMTL package apparently. I guess that's for the months, for the month names. Wire out the bookmark button. Update task list. Implementation complete. Yeah, package for date formatting. Yeah. Next steps. Run the app and test it. Thanks very much. Restart. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. This is interesting. What's happened here?
It broke it.
Well, yes and no. I think there's actually one of it might be my fault actually. I'm in the wrong directory. That could go wrong. Right. Not even sure what version is. What version of Dart? I'm on 11 now. Yeah, 311. Let's see that build. Should we see what it's done? Let's just have a quick walk through. So,
Uh-oh.
And things crashed badly. Oh dear. There's a first time for everything. So quick look. Give me 1 second. I know what that was.
So while you're doing that, Randall put a comment that the condition he has is an arterial. Oh my God. I hate dyslexia. Arterial flutter. So Richard said you could do the operation.
Oh dear. Right, try this again.
You're not sharing, just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Gotta get things going again. I could have just run this on desktop, to be fair. I'm running it on
The Android
device.
Yeah.
Just gonna do that. There we go. There you go. So it's running on desktop at the moment, but I can change to run the Android. But this will do for now. Library. Your library is empty. Tap the bookmark on the episodes to add them to your library. That's nice. We got a search bar. Releasing category. So let's go find some episodes. Let's go into data science. Tap on this. Here's the problem. This. I don't know. Did it edit it? I don't think it did. Mind you, I don't remember it adding that feature. So maybe it did. Let's go look. Episode screen. Oh, it's modified. Do you know what? It might have just hooked it up. I didn't even notice. I didn't actually pay attention to what it said it did, mind you. So, oh yeah,
you skimmed through it, yeah.
Well, that's interesting, right? Because it says removed and added snack bars, but they're not popping up on the screen. I'm guessing this relates to the fact that we don't actually have, we're using material and not scaffold. So let's just change that for a second. And yeah. Go away. Right. This one. Oh, this one. Add to, there we go. Add to favorites. Add to favorites. Add to favorites. There you go. And now if we go to library, oh look, they're just there, like magic. Isn't that nice?
Like magic.
And then we can tap on that, and off it goes, removed. But there's an undo. I can undo it. Yay! All right. So a couple of things aren't great here, right? One is our starting of that pop up at the bottom. I can't even see the word undo here because it's white on black. So we need to change that. We need to invert those colors. And let's see, by release date. Oh, they're all at the moment, right? So let's go.
Okay, wait. Go back into category. I want to see what it does when you do category.
Yeah, but
on the library.
Yeah, I just want to add something that's from like a different month or something.
Okay.
And some from the same category. Let's just that's already in there. That's February. August, sure. September, sure. Okay, so I'm going to go back to library. Here's all these. Here they all are by the order by when they were added. Release date.
Nice.
We have February, January, September, August. Yeah, that worked. Category.
Nice.
There you go. By category. I mean, I have to say, you know, like that's pretty damn cool.
That was very cool. And
optimize, there you go. Opt. That's interesting. OPT finds that one, but not. Okay. I would expect it to find both of these. So
when you type
I'm guessing it's search. Let's see how it implemented search, shall we? Because it's definitely not right. So look. So we have text field, search controller. So we've got search signal, which has been hooked up into search querying to build content. Okay. So again, here's a problem, right? All that filtering is happening during build.
Oh, right.
Right. And we say too low. And it's actually, I think this is more for buckling. It should be too lowercase. This is the actual problem, by the way, because it's actually finding optimization in the description here, or one
not
of them
in the header
because of the capitalization, right? Let's restart just to validate that. Yeah, I was going to add that, Richard. That's not got that at the moment. Where was I? Library. So OPT. There we go. That's better. So LLM. Yeah. So that's kind of not bad at all, really. I think there's definitely some interesting things here, right? So that can be improved. What transitions? There's the basic flow works, right? At the end of the day, it works. But equally, yeah, I would prefer that like to be this same icon. I feel like the filled up.
Oh,
I don't think there's filled in. Yeah, I don't actually think.
Okay. It's to me, looking at those, that they don't look like they're selected. Where
that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to be one, right?
Exactly.
It did actually ask me which one I wanted to use, and we'll use this one, right? And I just went, okay, sure, I'll use it. So bookmark, film. Outline, sharp, rounded. We can go match it to the other one, to be honest. Should probably have like a proper iconography kind of thing going on. This will do for now. How does this relate to the actual design wise. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
I think, is there like, in respect to a title, and nothing's really
That's
going.
another sort. So that's another sort you could do, is have by title. It may be too much, and yeah, no, but if somebody's looking for something very specific, also when on the library, when you've selected the category, having the icon when it's displaying, having the icon so it's easy for people to scroll through if they become familiar with the icons that are used for the different categories.
Mm-hmm. Let's do I feel like, should we put the
Yes.
icon
Bookmark.
over here?
Yeah.
Put my icon. This is definitely not hooked up with signals correctly, so I have to kind of tidy that up.
So yeah, did you break that? Did you break the code out and have it independent, or are you going to have it do it? Or, because it's used in two different places. You said to create.
Yeah, the thumbnail icon, for example. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's definitely. Yeah. Oh, what's going on there? That's interesting.
What's the text that's doing?
Hang on. Sorry, 1 second. There's a transition problem here. I'm just wanting to see. Oh, because there's no surface behind it. There you go. Oh, much better.
It was still there.
No, it's not. It's not like it was before. There's one. Oh no, the home screen's probably got the same problem. Let's go look at the home screen.
Okay.
Probably where he learned it from. So let's episode card. Let's tell it. Let's carry on this conversation. Say, let's see what it does. So I know what I would do. I just want to see what it does. Oh yeah. No, don't change it. You're wrong. No. I want to keep the row. I'm going to keep the wrap. I was going to say wrap it, but I don't want to like get confused.
Yeah.
Keep the wrap widget, but put it inside a row and expanded, ensuring the wrap can then utilize as much space as it needs. Sure, American spelling. Now I'm going to get English spelling. Yeah.
See, that just that I can deal with favorite, but that utilize it's wrong.
See if it'll fix it. You know, it did it. We have a favorite button, which watches the favorite manager for its slug. So there's an interesting way it's doing it, but of course, you know, this is also not a good way. And so this means that any favorite that changes currently is gonna, you know, we essentially want to have a function that creates a signal that only, you know, this computer signal basically. But let's don't worry about it for a moment. Okay, so there we go. So we've got some icons in here. So scroll down, yeah. So these ones aren't added. Add it. Yeah, it updates the icon immediately. So robot trajectory should be at the top. It is. Untick it from here. Go back to the home screen.
Uh-oh.
No, it's there. It's just further down.
There it is. Okay.
So something we've not done actually, which I should probably do here, if I scroll down on here and then go to another page and back again.
To keep it where it is.
Screen. And that's a standard thing that you can fix inside of Flutter. And
so you're saying that it stays where it was, right? Keeping that state.
So
the undo button, you still can't read it.
Yeah, I know. I haven't got that yet. With crikey. Automatic keybind. Oh, keybind plan. That's the one I want. And we just want this tab to always be kept alive. No particular reason for it not to be there. Right. There you go. And we'll do that same thing on the other tabs. Library. And we'll do it on profile, but obviously no profile yet. In preparation. Oh yeah, there's another bit in here. I forgot about that. Nearly. Explain that in a second. Oops. Yeah, so the build function needs a super being called on it, because the mixin actually, this is where it actually sends off the keep alive notification. Each time it gets built, it says I need to be kept alive or I don't need to be kept alive for the next build. So that is why the builders must have this. Right. So library. All right. Restart. All right, so we scroll down on here. Oops. I'm trying to drag it because I think it's on the phone. So there's robot. Oh. I can press. Oh, I can press on that. Go to library. I'll take it from here and go back. I'm still at that scroll point. I should be. No, I'm not. Oh,
It's not.
no, do you know what it is? This list is being rebuilt.
Well, do you want it to rebuild every time?
No, it can't. No, that can't be it. If I tick on here, that's no. The favorites have been no. Am I forgetting how to do keep alive now suddenly? I feel like I must be. So wait, look. But no, I know what this is. I think my main screen isn't actually using for some reason I thought it was a pager, but it's not. Just gonna have a look. I know exactly what that is, and I know exactly how to solve it, and I'm not going to do it right now. Where is it? I lost my wait, where's it gone? Main screen. No, blimey. Did we just do an index stack in here? I think we did an index stack. Let's go past it. Scaffold, body, child, main screen. Okay. So I'm not sure. So it's the shell route that's doing this, which is interesting because I don't know. I mean, this widget is being rebuilt, but the others aren't kept around. So this is interesting. I'm using a shell route, but actually this is not going to work.
I'm not familiar with shell route.
Well, no, it's more about that you're going between these tabs, and when you're going between tabs, what we're actually doing is recreating the UI, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what you saw with those transitions earlier was because essentially it's a route transition that's taking place.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It works. However, it means that when you're coming back to that, you're actually creating a completely new route, and you're
Did you see Randall's comment?
Yeah.
Question? Without a queue.
No, we're not overrunning. It's what the platform does, Randall. Go look up automatic keep alive mixing. Literally tells you this is what you need to do. It's the way it's designed to work. The mixin has a build method. It's not overridden, but has a build method that must be called. Yeah. To be honest, I don't like it. There's better ways to do it. There should be better ways of doing that, and they could put better ways of doing that in there. But anyway, so we got an option. We kind of see. I know how to do this without Go Router, but Go Router is actually not giving us.
Oh, now I understand. Okay.
Okay, I'm not following Randall, but okay. Come on the show if you want to talk to us. Right. This is an interesting one. So this is good, right? So I'm just trying to work out. Okay, so let me explain what the problem is so you understand. So basically, this panel inside above, so the bottom nav is supplied by this main screen, right? This wraps the child, which would be the main content, and provides the bottom navigation, right? To keep all four alive, and potentially we want all four widgets being created on the screen, right? They can be created on demand, but they have to be on the screen, created as a widget at some point, right? That state then has to be persisted, right? Now, unless shellwrite had some sort of mechanism to do the persistence, it has this restoration scope idea, but this is more about like when your app goes into the background. It's the standard restoration scope. Yeah. So it means that the subroutes don't work. They don't work in this situation, right? Which means if we want to navigate to a certain tab, challenge AI with this issue. You know what? Let's do it. See what it comes up with. I know what I to do. Well, I know what I would do.
Have you saved what is where it is? Because it's going to go in and mess everything up.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's do AI magic. Yeah, just back that stuff up. Yeah. I think. Yeah, let's explain. Let's give the agent. Let's give the agent a. Let's do an agent to say. Let's explain one.
The comments somebody put, I love it.
Yeah, you're an even more senior than the last one. I'm losing the state of scroll, the state of. However, preserve widget state when switching between bottom navigation tabs is a common issue on Go Route or Shell Route. The solution is to use stateful Shell Route with a stateful navigation shell. How about that? Look at your current router implementation. Now understand your issue. You're using a regular shell route, which rebuilds the children on each time you navigate between tabs. This is a stateful shell route, .index stack, which preserves the state of each branch. I'll be honest with you, that wasn't my go-to answer. So this is good. Go Router has a solution for this. So navigation shell, stateful navigation shell, which is going to be basically an index stack, right? Go branch, yeah. So this is just what I would be implementing effectively myself, was the way I was thinking of doing it. So it's nice that it does it and it integrates well because it handles all the particular Go Router cases, I guess. Yeah. Let's get down to it eventually. Yeah, container builder, okay. And then the default container builder. Go on. Index stack container builder is the default, yeah. Which is an index stack, yeah. Okay. So that's nice. So we basically got a, let's go back. Oops. Where's my router? Up here somewhere. So we've got a main screen has now been updated with a navigation shell, and each one of the branches is a stateful shell branch.
So it changed because I missed part of it. So it changed to the stateful shell route instead of just shell route. Okay.
Yeah, basically. Let's have a look. See, it tells us what I converted your shell route into stateful shell route index stack, which preserves the widget state when switching between the bottom navigation. This is what it's done. Each tab is now wrapped in the stateful shell branch. The builder now receives a stateful navigation shell rather than a widget child. That shouldn't make a difference, to be honest. It's just a
Should or shouldn't.
I can't imagine. Yeah, it's just a widget. That could have been kept the same. But it means that we can only use a stateful. I'll hang a second. Now I see why. Their part is passing on the navigation shell to the buttons, so the buttons can find out what the current index is and then go to a particular branch. Interesting. Okay. That doesn't. Okay, so basically, here's the problem. The layout of these branches has to match. If the order of this was to change, the order of the buttons would have to change. So, yeah. So in effect, you actually want to build this list of stateful shell branches from the same data that's built in the bottom navigation. Otherwise, there's an inconsistency in this index within the app.
So should you have that separate so then it can be used in both places?
Well, there's the point. It is actually up here, right? That's the exact reason, right? So we could add more fields to these nav buttons, which is enough for like providing the route, the widget and the route, for example, and then build it off of that, which I think is probably the better option here, right? So we was bottom nav buttons. I could ask the AI, couldn't I? That was someone saying now. Waiting for some saying, oh look, route.
I was going to ask about index. Should you have the index in there?
Oh, you can't do builders like that. Widget. Yeah, you can't put fun. It's good. I mean, it's const. That's why, right?
Well,
I could do it final and just put the builder in there just to make life easier, right?
Well, I didn't like that.
Yeah, because it's const still. Final. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. What we could do is highlight these and say update the branches. Saved. Update the branches, the route branches, to be dynamically built from the
I see you've already started modifying.
I see you already done that stuff. Thanks very much. Let's see if it can work out. They should do a for loop.
Okay, so now I have another question.
Hey, look, it did a wanted. It did exactly what I wanted. There. Yay.
So is it getting that you did all of this because you're using Claude Opus 4.5? Where I use Sonnet?
I mean, quite possibly it's doing it because it needs to do it. I don't know.
Okay.
Could really give you more specific than that. I do want
Okay.
as well as these. Give it that. And that. And that. Right. So restart. So we see if it actually. Okay. I have tabs. Let's scroll down the first one to our robot trajectory, whatever. Category. Scroll down category. Let's put software engineering at the top. Library. Go back. Okay, still scroll down. Tap on that. Go over. Remove it from here. Go back. Yeah,
Nice.
that worked. So I think that was successful.
That looks like I like that.
Um,
I need to say, then this is just me. So it looks like the titles are wrapping, and I like the way they're wrapping. The bookmark icon underneath the photo is bugging me. I think it should be up to the left of the photo, to the right of the title. That's just
yeah, you mean up here? That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
But I was going to get in there.
I know.
If it's bugging you that much, we'll change it.
Sorry, OCD, dyslexia, it's a mess. Neurodivergent. But good thing is, my social battery is green.
So where's title? That's our title. From our title. Let's wrap that in a row. This is one like I could just do this. I don't know why anyone wants to like type it to the AI. That's just like there you go. Bing.
Yes. To me, that just makes more sense.
Picks our tap target on that. Let's have a look. Wow, that's tiny. Is this because it's desktop or something? Or is it not using an icon button? Oh, it is. It's just over in the panel to 0. Thanks so much. And the box constraints. Go on.
Shame.
Naughty. There we go. That's why. Okay. That's much better.
Sounds like you need to
Naughty
update
AI. Naughty,
rules. Yes. And right. I can never get that to work right.
And also, this favorite button is actually used in a couple of places now, isn't it? So let's
create your own widget.
Well, just put in a file.
Well, yeah, that's what I. That's what I meant. You also need to have your augment rules so it has trailing commas. Just saying.
What do you mean? It does, doesn't it?
There have been places you've had to put them in. I've watched you put them in.
Oh. No, I think that's when I was typing or doing stuff. I'll have a look in a minute. It's fine.
No worries. It's fine.
Where was I? Category screen. No, library was that. Was it? So that's a good question. This is terrible. Ugh. I mean, look. I mean, it's functional, right? But equally, it's also like, why would you want to? Yeah, again, there's nothing in this context that is changing within here, right? Therefore, this literally is no need to have this global method in here, right? Let's just bring this out to here for a second. I'll come back to it in a second, right? Then you go look at that and go, okay, well, then now that's been removed, what was using it? And this is passing over the item slug and thumbnail title. Well, those are the things that should be passed over to the actual button. So there's no need for a remove method on your tile. Down here as well, same thing passed over. Get rid of that. So now the tile itself doesn't need an on remove. And now we're down to the icon button, which is removed from library, which should be our icon button here, right? So pop that in there. And bookmark rounded secondary text color. Yeah, I don't think we need any of that. What we do need is to pass over the, at the moment, the slug. I would probably, it's because it pops up with the name of the title as well, right? So this kind of goes into the aspect of why not just pass over the episode, your favoriting. That's right. Okay, now our favorite button, which is all sorts of broken. Let's go figure out what's going on here. So, yeah, I think we'll do a leave the remote. Do we get, returns the favorite. What is to see if it's null or not? Okay. Advert could do the same thing, to be fair. And if we've already got it, then yeah, that's because Pete. What? That's not nullable, is it? We have a default value. What am I missing here? Let's go. The first or null. Wait, what? Oh, that's completely wrong function. That'd be why. First where or null. Dot. There we go. Cool. What was that? That was it. Back to here.
Wait, can you go back for a second?
Sure. I just realized I didn't actually want to do that. So yeah, let's go back.
It went really fast, so I was trying to look at the difference between 31 and 35. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So this is getting the favorite from the list or null, and then this is overwriting the variable because it's null at this point, right? With a new value, so that we can insert it in the list and return it. But I was thinking to myself, I actually wanted this to return. It's very common for remove to return back the item you removed, so that you could like undo it, add it, do something with it. Add, on the other hand, really should be returning a boolean to say that it added it or not, right? So it's already added it. So we could actually go back to what we had originally, which is this, and we get return false. So I kind of just went around the whole circle there, but you know, it happens. There we go. So the whole point of this was just so I didn't want to like show that you've added something you've already added. So that should never happen, but you know, let's just say that you could. Right, so add favorite. We add it. If you added, then hide and show. Remove, undo, restore the removed one, sure. B. In fact, we can improve that and just do nice. Right. I think they were the rounded ones. Let's go take a quick look at the episode screen. No. In fact, going back to that screen, we actually can replace this toggle favorite thing with the same code, right?
Simon, is there a background audio or something? There's a pulsing that comes through when the audio is coming from your side. Just curious.
No.
Okay.
Internet things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all this can go away. And this could be. Oh, thumbnail time. It's a good point, actually. It might be thumbnail time. Right. was I in here? Should really be. This is literally doing the same thing as. Yeah, this is not good. Right. Yeah, I'll come back to that. What was I saying? Yeah, tile and then the icon. What icon I'm using these ones. Bookmark added. We want bookmark. Now like rounded. Cool. And I want the thumbnail tile to be the tile that we're actually using, not the full tile. Widget.episode.slug. Yeah. You mean that could be slug? I guess so. Right, where were we? Yeah. Let's do. Right. So we can take them out there. Do that. Anniversary variation. Back in. Yeah, okay. So that all seems to be working. And then if we go into, let's go into one. That's highlighted. I can remove it from there. Come back. It's still removed from there. Put it back in. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's nice.
Wait. You removed it, but it was still listed in library.
No, I added it again. So it's not there now. If I go into it, add it again, and come back, it'll be in this list. And now if I go to library, it'll be back in there.
And then if you undo it.
From here. Disappears from the library. Not ticked here. Not ticked here. I mean, they're all synced. So the same data source.
Okay.
So I just probably going a bit too quick. Just zipping around. Okay. This is the annoying thing, right? So at the moment, we kind of want a he almost wants to be a set of signals, right? Is there like a signal set? There is a signal set, isn't there? I don't know how that works. Let's go take a look at the documentation. Set signal. So, my signal. So the question here is, if I was to implement these, was it on our persisted signal? What's the problem here? Is it because it's already can't be mixed into this because persistent doesn't signal set? Well, how can we do both? Oh, hey, it's a signal of set of int, or set of something, set of favorite. Yeah, because I haven't finished. Yeah, it's fine. It's complaining about things. There we go. Right. So, given that, does that mean I can do some interesting things? So with a set signal mixing, what does that give us?
Randall shared something.
Value. That's what I'm looking at, isn't it?
Oh,
Set. Oh no, value set. Okay. Yeah. Set signal. Yeah. Well, this is what I'm just trying to look at here, right? So when you set something, when it gets set, it's actually setting the signal value to the new list. It's probably not what I want, to be honest. I'm just thinking about the fact that it's any favorite changes rebuilds all of the favorite buttons, right? Because the watch is taking place on the favorites as a whole. Where I was thinking doing something similar to the episode, where is it? Episodes repo, where we have essentially a set of signal, a list of signals, almost array. So it's a set. No, it's a map. Ignore me. But anyway, this idea that we're returning a signal per favorite on its slug or something like that. So you can look up the slug and turn back the signal for that slug. I feel like this is like something that was already in here, right? This is the signal container.
should you ask the AI again?
We could do, couldn't we? See what happens. Why not? Oops. Let's go back to our. Where are we doing the favorites? Was it in here? Toggle favorites. Yeah.
So you have multiple agents depending on what you're working on?
Yeah. So, because this has got context about all of this stuff I'm working on, right?
Okay.
So if I was going to go back to the navigation, I'd probably be using this one because there's context on that.
Okay, cool.
All right. So I have updated the user interface and separated out the favorites button used on all widgets into this file. I notice that that all favorite button widgets rebuild when any favorite was changed rather than the desired, rather than only the favorite button with the matching slug. Slug. I'm gonna do it this way. It's all with you. Let's see. I see the issue. Subscribing to the entire favorite signal, so every button rebuilds when every favorite changes. Yes, I know this. The solution is to create a computer signal that derives its favorite from the specific slug. Yeah, the widget could actually do that, couldn't it? Is that what's done? Yeah, signals mixing. Okay, yeah. So we have a computer signal in here with if it's, I mean, it's one way of doing it, right? So basically this function is going to run when any favorite is run still, but it doesn't cause the rebuild to take place. Yeah. And now we're watching this context, which handles the extends the signal. Yeah. All right, there you go. Rebuild. Yep. So that's the power of the mixing, right? So the power of the mixing, anything it creates disposable signals, so that when the dispose method gets called on the state, it will dispose of all the signals it creates, which is somewhere, which I forget where. Dispose clear signals and effects, then this will clean up and go through its local set of values and clean them all up and everything else. So right, where was I?
Time check.
Yeah, I know we're way over time, but anyway. Let's tick that. There we go. I mean, it's working, right? Let's go in here, untick that one. Retick it there.
Fix the undo button. It's driving.
Yeah, let's fix that. So perfect. That's great. Now, now I noticed the snack bars are grey with black text, light grey, and it's hard to read the actions on them. Let's update them to be dark grey with white text. As if it's clever enough to understand where the snack bars are. It better not just change it in these show snack bars. I'm gonna be pissed if it does that. It should be
turn off auto. So
all snack bars. Might wouldn't make much difference here. So there's some I think there's some questions that come up in the chat.
Oh. Is it because you switched to auto?
Or no, probably not. It's just broke in some way. It's fine. Who cares? Right. Update in the theme. Yeah. So some questions of right. What have we got in the chat? What would Claude Opus 4.6 do? What we're doing, because that's what we're using. That's the model that I've got selected down here. Oh, 4.5.
No, you have 4.5.
It would be better than 4.5. I mean, so I know it's facetious, but I'm like, I don't know, like it'd just be better, right? I never used it, so
Randall says it crashed because you didn't say please.
yeah, right. Okay, let's see. The actions will now be clearly visible, apparently. Let's find out. Ooh.
No, it did the whole pop-up as opposed to just the button.
No, I wanted the whole pop-up then. That's what I was asking for. But I
Oh.
think the purple is not visible enough on that color, so I would prefer the actions to be a lighter purple. The actions on the snake. Maybe lighter purple. Yeah. What else was in the chat? What did I miss? I'm assuming there's probably a fan from the computer or something. I don't know, but it's not like very high this end. It could be the pickups quite. The microphone pickups quite loud. I can change that. Is that any better?
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Okay, well, if you do, let me know. Anyway, right, what else was here? He's thinking. What I like to think he is 3D printing his favorite Autobots. Okay. Emits events, yeah. Need a good ORM for Dart server. Are you saying you need one? If I don't have a one, there was one, but it's not coming to mind. I mean, there's quite a few ORMs on pub. I mean, like it all depends on what the database system you're using is. Honestly, I couldn't remember.
Is that specific to what you're doing here, or is that part of the?
No, this is just a random question. I'm not going to go into it right now because I'm going to wrap up. Paler shade of purple. Yeah, I should have said that, right? Let's see what it's come up with. Lavender, lighter indigo lavender, right? And did I restart? I didn't restart, did I?
I don't recall.
There we go. Silverboard has a built-in one. Yeah, true. I mean, oh yeah. So the category screen. Let's go find that category screen. So that's a good point, right? So each screen. So at the moment, I'm having to put a scaffold on each screen, which is not ideally what I want to do. Especially when they're even using for display and snack bar. So probably what would be better is to actually put in a snack bar at the higher level.
That has everything in it, and you just reuse that.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe popping a shell route around absolutely everything. And then it can be a scaffold within that. But where is the router? So the router's actually, I don't think that there's a top level builder, right? I mean, is that the correct place I want it? I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? I mean, it actually makes sense, to be honest. For this one, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. See what happens. What can possibly go wrong?
Don't forget to save it.
No, I'm going for it. Going for it.
Did I break up there?
No. So let's do this. Let's just plug it straight in here and see what happens. Rebuild. And then we're going to go close all this stuff. Okay, so if I'm in the search overlay and tap one of these, yep, we can still see it now. Cool. That's nice. And then, so it's kind of interesting, right? Because I mean, it does come up at the moment over the top of everything there. I don't really want it going over the nav.
Right.
It'd be better if it was above the nav.
Yes.
Which kind of puts us down into a route of, which is fine for these ones on this page. So if I go into main screen, if this was a scaffold around the, where's that? This is the bottom nav bar, sorry. And we have a scaffold here. Ah. Don't. Is it bottom app? Am I wrong in thinking that? I swear though. Is this because it's on desktop or something?
So try running it on your simulator or your other thing.
No, I just want to just.
I don't know because I don't recall if I've done. I don't.
I seem to. I mean, the other thing that can be happening here at the moment is because there's a scaffold above the scaffold. It can be seeking out that. I mean, we can go take a look at what's going on there. Like, I think these automatically go get the route. You have a scaffold messenger. Does it get the nearest one or does it get the route one? I mean, this would get the nearest one, but a scaffold.
So could you do a Flutter inspector when it pops up so you can see?
Yeah. Hang on. We're going to go over here, so I don't really want to put much more into this. Right,
okay.
Where we are right now. I mean, there's certain advantages to having that on each screen rather than globally, right? So, for example, when I'm on a category screen like this, if I category episode screen, if I was to wrap this in a scaffold, let's see if this works, because this should work. So if I go into a particular category screen, these should be tappable. Anyway, come back to that. Security, and now tap on this one and hit back. I would expect that to disappear with that screen because it's a notice of what I've done on that screen. So at the moment, the category episode screen is inside the shell route, right? Which is, I think, and this is the test of this, right? So if I change this to child and then restart, and try that again. So go into security, untick one, and go back. Oh, that was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So look, it's working here. It's above now, right?
Yeah. But when you go to a different screen.
No, which is where I expected it to be. But when I went into a category, it's there at the bottom. But when I hit back, it moves up.
Yeah.
and then disappears. So there's
And
actually,
do you want it to, when you move back though, do you want it to still be there?
That's my point. I don't want it to still be. I want it to dismiss, and I can make it dismiss. I'm just like, just wasn't expecting it to move up, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Because the thing is, they're two different scaffolds, right? And I know they're going to do scaffold, whichever, what do you call it? Messenger. But the ownership of the scaffold. I think the scaffold measure is created by the Material app now, right? And it's displayed by the scaffold. So the actual management of the snack bar is happening by Material app. And if I remember right, Material app actually has scaffold messenger key. Yeah. So this flows through to widgets app. Yeah, scaffold messenger. There you go. Okay. So the messenger is at the top level and it's displayed to the nearest child, to the most topmost child. So, okay, well, anyway, if let's say in this example here, we want it to disappear, then we could just say, I feel like that you might have done several, so it's probably a clear snack bar is actually probably more of a app thing to do. You shouldn't do. Actually, it's a good point. Actually, I don't know what of depend on. Yes, this would be a problem. So we need to take this and say.
I need to step away. I'll be right back.
No worries. I'll stay. Yeah. There we go. And this just reeks of mixing. So let's create mixing. Lovely. We do like a mixer at the end, isn't it? I'll get rid of that. Right. Yeah, let's suffix it. Let's see if it does what I want now. And then let's clear up that shell route. We don't need that anymore. Bad idea. And what did it do inside the theme?
Did you miss me?
Where have you been? Oh my gosh. Interesting. Why did it not use the constants? It literally repeated color, not using the constants. That one doesn't exist. Do we have like a lighter? That seems like a pretty light purple anyway. All right, let's do right. As I just made a quick mix in on state to do that task of clearing the snack bars, applied it to the screen. So now hopefully we go into a category, we add something in return. It kind of annoys me actually. Yeah. You want it just to disappear. I mean, it's working, it's clearing it, which is what I want, but I want to clear it immediately and not animate. Remove all snack bars. I thought there was like a remove current snack bar is different from hide. Yeah. So if I say remove current snack bar and then clear. I want to clear. Yeah, I guess so, because you might have stacked up some. Ooh.
Ooh, I don't like that.
No, it shouldn't have done that. I think that's a bug. We've definitely got a bug. Apparently, if you choose remove and then clear, it does something weird. So do that. Go back. That is.
Wait, it did that. Yeah, it did that twice. But yeah,
that's really interesting. That is not a valid state for the snack bars to get into. Like it was there but not there. That's interesting. Interesting. I would want to like raise an issue ticket, but I'm also can't be bothered right now. Right. Well, clear works. Quantum snack bars, yeah. They're there but not there. We'll just do clear. That'll do for the time being. Alrighty then. That's. Oh, yeah, we don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. That's my right. That's pretty cool, right? So now we've got the whole favoriting feature built into the app now. You can undo. Yeah. Do that, untick it, undo it, comes back. And this sorting works, which is cool. Definitely feel like there's room for I don't know, I feel like there's going to be like a lot of categories, right? So it kind of feels like there's probably you want some sort of easier way of navigating them by category if you're going to view your library by category. Ooh. This is not right either. Okay, yeah, that needs to be fixed. I'm not sure how they're doing this. We didn't really look into this, but I think there's definitely some. Oh yeah, and this again when you change the filter. If I'm down at the bottom and I change my filter, I expect to.
So I think you should create a list of this is what you're going to do next week. I mean, I'm happy to stay here watching you, but just as a time check.
No. That's it for today. You can reuse the alphabet scroll bar you made once. Yeah, could do. I was thinking that, but I was also thinking that the thing is that these are like quite large namings. So it's like I was thinking ideally what I'd actually want to do. Oh, make me start doing this. Where is it? Main library. I might pull these out of main, to be honest, and bring them up a level. Let's bring them to this. Actually, undo. I'll do that another time. But what I was going to say was, ideally, each one of these groups would be a main axis group, or should be a main axis group. At the moment, this is using a list view builder, which should be a custom scroll view, and these should be slivers. If these are slivers, then we can actually do. You'd actually have pinned headers as well. So as you scroll down, if I'm on, let's say, this month, February, well, I would know that I'm on February halfway down the screen, so say February at the top, right? Stuff like that. That makes a difference.
That the date stays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the sort of build groups list group header, like all of this can be done properly with a custom scroll view. Actually, look, if I change this to custom scroll view, and then this will want a slivers. Let's just do this one and quickly. It won't take 2 seconds to convert this since we're here. Shut up. Right.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, I have to share this comment. Yep, totally. Time goes fast when you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly right. Close, but no cigar.
Yes, and I do agree with what Marco said.
What?
Simon could go on forever. Lots of energy.
Oh, yeah. Build delegate. Oh, it's because it's a non-positional one. Wow. Right, what was it doing? Right, that was it. Sliver list. No, I don't want a sliver list. You messed me up. I don't want that either.
I do learn from you watching you code. It's just I have to come back because the font and you go so fast.
Yeah, sorry for all the red. Right. Right. So if group index greatness, then it's that's gaps in between. So sure. Let's bring that up. Dot indexed, I guess. Grouped dot entries dot indexed. I'm not ready. Group keys, group items. Dot indexed. Thank you. and we'll get to back. Sorry, it's going to highlight red because I'm got multiple things going on here at once here. I think no, that's wrong. Right, where was I? What's it complaining about anyway? It's a render object. It's not a. Oh, it's not a widget. Yes. Right, where was I? I've got way too many things going on here. Right. CS sliver. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Right. That's completely messed up this lot, but I'll come and bring that back in now. So column. Let me get rid of that format. There we go. Right, so each of the group items is this. So grab that, and the group header is this. We'll grab both of those. And so for each, so this is just the outside. So we've got sliver padding, we've got our list. Then for each group, if our group index, that's not index, is that the problem? No. Oh, they're not named? Question mark. Okay. No, it's main access. Right, so now we've got our slivers. So we've got our slivers for the group that's inside, and that's going to have a sliver. This is basically where we're going to do the same layout. So we've got a group header. I didn't think so. There's a way of doing that. I just can't be bothered figuring it out. Oh, there. Right. So inside here, we want a sliver persistent header. There is a new floating header, floating sliver floating header. That's the one I want. And then the child that we want in there is just all of this stuff. Oh, gosh. That makes life a lot easier. Then for our group items for each item, and we can actually use a sliver list for this for the builder, and have this return back each of the items. So our delegate becomes however many items value has, and the index of each item. And then we're going to have to obviously look up that item, the value in the next episode. Right, let's get rid of all that nonsense. Capture, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so with all of that, let's get rid of all this junk down here now. Okay. So that was a bit of a mouthful. That was a bit more than a... But let's go library now. So if I go into release date and scroll, it's a floating header at the moment, so that's no good. That's pinned header. That's what I want. Sliver pinned header. Now it's there. It's not called that. It's called pinned header something. Like pinned header sliver. Why on earth?
That makes so much sense. That
every other sliver begins with the word sliver.
Sounds like you need to put in a
what?
Bug. I mean, they renamed button.
Here we go. So now that's pinned, and when the January comes up, off it pushes, just like that.
I don't like how February is. The stuff is scrolling under it. There should be a bit of a gap.
Hang on.
Okay.
No, we don't want that. We just want black. The question here is, would we want like an opacity value to it? Or does that just make it not so legible? I just leave it with 100% actually. Yeah. So if I went back to go way back in time and tick some around here. I don't know when these were. I just want more to scroll through. Right, library. Now, February, January, November. Yeah. Nice. Nice and simple. And then also this is a way more optimal than what I was trying to do before as well. So I don't know what category does actually. Let's have a look. Hey, look, it uses the same widgets. Isn't that nice?
Nice. Now, question, and I know we're done. We've been done for an hour and a half. On the recently added, is it showing the dates that they were added, or is it just everything? So it's not really recent because
that's a good point. So we don't group the recently added by the ordered
like when they were added, right?
Yeah.
And what is recent? Because you've added a whole bunch. Now, granted, today's today, but
they're just sorted by recently added, right? So this is all of them, but they're just sorted by when they were added.
Okay.
Maybe the name's wrong, but there's actually
no. I mean, the recently added, it makes sense, but if I'm looking for something, I'm like, okay, when did I save that? Oh, I saved it Friday. To be able to go back.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I think that there should be headings in here, which is like today. In fact, that's actually how it was in the design. Hang on, let's have a. I just closed it. Let me open back up again. I'm pretty sure that's how this was meant to be done. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, no, it'd be nice to have like today, yesterday, last week, that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
let's not go there yet, because all of this needs completely rewriting, right? Because all of this is completely wrong.
What do you mean
I mean,
completely
there's
wrong?
no way we should be doing any of this sorting of the data in here, right?
Oh, okay, yes.
Like this is happening all during build. Yeah, I mean, it's nice though. And I like it's getting there.
Yep.
Yeah, like there is no like trending or anything like that. This needs to be removed, I think, for the minute. And there's no search on categories at the moment, right? It could sort these by like alphabet. I suppose you could put a sort like you do on library, right? So this is the moment sorted by the most episodes, right?
Right. And keep the newest, like recently updated and things like that. So, because like if there's something with cloud computing that it's new.
Yeah.
And somebody wants to be able to see it where.
But that's what I'm trying to say. I think
Yeah.
like I don't have trending on most popular aren't going to exist because I don't have data on that. But what I could do is, recently updated, like when so all of them by recent updated, ordered by alphabetical or by I don't know what you call this, most episodes, whatever.
Episode count.
Episode count, yeah. Yeah. Yay. I think this is the problem, right, with this. The whole idea of this is you need to be able to like browse the data, and I think it's one of those things where it's going to be pretty difficult to get to that content without being able to browse into it. In here, I did what was it? It was like category chips or something. Yeah, category chips here. Where's the label text? I think color. Oh, that's better. Well, we could do here like an on, like a tap or something. I thought there was. Oh, maybe it's one of these choice chip, like single selection set of options. Action chip. These have like a on tap or something. On pressed. Okay. Action chip has an on pressed. Choice chip probably has a selection state and on chip. Okay. We probably want an action chip. Okay. Does that look any different? Oh god, it does. It's atrocious.
Yeah, no.
But why? Because it's disabled. It's using disabled color because no unpressed. So let's see. This should work. Energy science. Yay. And graphs. Yay. There you go. Model training. Cool. I think the thing here with all of this is trying to find, like, again, like there's so much content that you need to find a nice way of actually working through that content to get to it, I think there's also, we also need to finish off the audio player, and the video player's work. It needs to auto hide a few things. There's just lots of little loose ends right now. Also, be nice to add some animations in. This stacked experience is nice, but we've lost our animations. So that'd be nice to get those back in. Profile screen as well. Right, that's another hump day over. Hopefully someone out there learned something and found whatever I was doing interesting, and whenever we were talking about interesting in some way.
I totally did. Thanks for having
that's
me.
a good point.
Impromptu.
I summarize all these things. Thanks for coming. It really was helpful.
Oh, no problem. Happy to. If I had known, I mean, my time is a lot different than, I mean, Randall, yeah, he was up, but.
Right. Well, what was meant to be a short show has turned into like a massive long show. It's good. I don't get enough time to work on this. I really do actually find it helpful.
But you only work on it on Hump Day, right?
The show, yeah, basically, yeah. Otherwise, it's taking forever to get done. So
that's okay.
We made some good headway. I think it was really good headway. That was like a good feature of the app done. So cool.
That was excellent.
Awesome. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Bye.